I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up! What is up? What is up? Good morning, and thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. My name is John Greaves III. I am the co-founder of Garage Gym Life, and if this is your first time checking out our show, thank you for giving us a shot. Hope your morning is off to a good start, and we're going to do the best we can to make sure that it stays a good morning for you as we go into the weekend. Do me a favor and hit that like button and hit subscribe. If you decide halfway through the show you don't like the show, then you can always unlike it, but don't do that. I promise you're going to enjoy what we have on the menu for you today. In the first hour, we're going to have news and other things with my wife Naomi, who'll be joining us in a second. At 6:45, we're going to have Recliner of Rage. That's our most popular segment, and I'll tell you why I am mad this week. Then in the second hour at 7 a.m. Eastern, which is 6 a.m. Central, we're going to have Shawn from Colonial Barbell Club YouTube channel joining us. Shawn is a fairly new YouTube content creator. He also creates content on Instagram. So I'm excited to hear from him about how his channel is growing. And then in the third hour, we are going to do React and Respond. We're going to talk about home gym topics that have come across my desk. So as I said, do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe, and let's go ahead and let's pull up her theme song first of all, and then we're gonna bring Naomi into the building. All right, so here we go. Let's pull it up. We gotta welcome her correctly. All right, here we go. There you go. What's up?
Good morning, everybody.
You know you like that song. You know you like that song.
It's
growing on you?
It's growing. It's better than some of the other theme songs you've come up with in the past.
Oh, I'm a genius. A musical. I'm like Quincy Jones for our family. That's really what it is.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Really?
This is yeah, this is 100%.
Okay.
Anyway, so we got a packed show. We got oh wow, we got a bunch of people in the live chat. We need to go ahead and jump in there and see who's here. So let's go ahead. No further delays. Let's see who's here. All right, first in the building is my guy Carlos. Let's see. He says, all right. He says, I'm up because it's way too early. Oh, that's a look, man. I'm telling you, I had a lot going on last night, and one of the things though, I asked Nora if she thought I should get on the mic at the Valentine's dance and sing my international hit, which is the theme song for this show.
Because it could also be the Recliner of Rage.
That's true.
For
I've got a discography now. I got more than one song. It's loved on multiple continents. Okay, I'm a vocalist and a singer-songwriter. That's whatever.
Okay.
Let's see. Colonial Barbell Club said he set an alarm for this one. I hope so, because you're gonna be on the show. So it's good to know you're awake. Shawn was already in my Instagram DMs, like asking me questions. So I am excited. I'm excited. All right, we got Letha. She said, good morning. Happy Friday, friends. Happy Friday, Letha. Appreciate you being here. Let's see here. Carlos said, cardio, laundry, and friends. There's no better reason to be up way too early. Hey, you know it.
Yep.
Carlos is probably out in the mean streets of Houston right now. Let's see. Hey, we got a celebrity 332. Says, wake up, wake up. Good morning. Good morning, Ashley. How you doing? How you doing? Let's see here. The Bar Gym Reviews. What's up, man?
Morning.
He says, good morning. I haven't talked to you in a minute. Glad to have you on here. Let's see here. And then, of course, your fan club, your growing fan club. They said, know me in the building.
Good morning.
Colonial Barbell. Shawn says, called you the queen of the mermaids. Carlos wishes up. I guess he's wishing everybody a happy early Valentine's and said I should keep it gangster. That's right, Carlos. I knew you saw that video. I know you saw it. So what y'all don't know is I send Carlos every day. I send him a reminder to not, don't have an ordinary day. I want you to have an extraordinary day, which is keep it gangster. So I'll send him a video. Typically it's some animated event like a dog dancing or something, whatever, but it's playing keep it gangster,
Your AI, that generator that you like to put in the things that you send.
Hey, look, it's not an AI generated. I'm telling you, I don't even look for this stuff. It just pops up. So,
Puppies are not doing the TikTok trend dances. I'm just saying.
That's not a TikTok trend dance. That's the sea walk, which I wouldn't do because I'm not from there and I'm not part of that. But I'm just saying that's a sea walk. Kevin says, question of the day answer, because I said, in fact, let's go ahead and do the question of the day. Do you want RitFit to make the mermaid bar? And he said the question of the day answer, what is a mermaid bar? But I'm going to say yes anyway. Kevin, that tells me, Kevin, that you are not a channel member, because if you were a channel member, let me just double check here. Let me just make sure, because I'm pretty sure I thought he was. No, he's not. Okay, that's why. All right, so the mermaid bar, and I'll let Naomi explain what the mermaid bar is, but we got the mermaid bar in Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday from RitFit, and I'll let you explain, some of the backstory behind it. Don't tell them everything, because we have a video. The actual video is dropping. The channel members have already watched it, or it's available for them to watch right now. But as soon as this live stream is over, you guys will be able to watch. RitFit helped me surprise Naomi for Valentine's Day by getting her the bar that she's been wanting for a while. Right. So go ahead and before we'll finish telling everybody what's up, and then I want you to explain what the mermaid bar is. So let's see here. Let's see. Parrot and Powered Up said up way too early. Hey, you up at the perfect time. One of you has got to get ready for work. All right. So both of you might as well be up because you're a team. Let's see here. Jared, what's up, Jared? My man has arrived. Now the party can now begin now that Jared and hopefully Theo and the rest of the crew have arrived as well. I don't know if y'all can get Lindsay to be up this early, but hey. And Carlos said RitFit should definitely, nope, we're gonna start that. Because we'll talk about that when we get back. All right, so now that we've called attendance, let's go ahead, play our video from Gorilla Strength. We're gonna, we want you guys to check out the Shin Saver bar, and then we'll come back in 22 seconds and we'll let you guys know what the mermaid bar is. Okay, so here we go. It is the Shin Saver bar. As soon as I can find it, I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Every time I see that commercial, I think I'm doing a Starmon with like 225. I'm like, why is that the only weight I was doing? I was probably tired that day. But then I remember how old that video is, because I'm looking at like what the equipment was in the background. But anyway, nevertheless, you can grab the Shin Saver bar exclusively at Gorilla Strength Equipment. Unlike some of the other tip trainers that are out on the market, this one was kind of custom designed by me and David Dennis, because I asked him to put some features on there that you won't see on the other tib bars that are out there. For one thing, it is adjustable, so you can move the fulcrum and increase the resistance, adjust the resistance without having to add weight. So it's really, really versatile, and that's the one that I recommend without hesitation. All right, now it is now time for news and other things. Let's go. All right, first news item is the question of the day. And the question of the day is, do you want RitFit to make the mermaid bar? All right. And as you guys said, Kevin said, what is a mermaid bar? So I am going to, let me see if I can find the video. Let's see if this thing works. Actually, go ahead, intro it while I look. Tell them what it is, and I will find the video. So go ahead.
So So when we went to the Fit showroom opening, they had, when you first walk in to the showroom, they have a wall of like their dumbbells, and then they have all their barbells, and it goes from different color ranges to show basically what they offer. And this bar was all the way at the far end, and it actually, and for me to actually stop and at, even to look at a bar like that, I guess I entered that new phase in my fitness journey where I was like, ooh, about a barbell, and kind of started spinning it, and it just like the iridescence is the best way to describe it, and the changes and the variance in the bar. I was like, I asked, I was like, what kind of bar is this? What is this one? And they're like, oh, it's just there. We don't really have a name for it or anything. It's just showing how different options. And I was like, if you were to name it, this would definitely be a mermaid because of the way it's the iridescent. And from there, I just call it the mermaid bar. Um, so it's
And that's it right there.
beautiful, beautiful. And I mean, it's the change in it, it's constant variance depending on how it spins. The sleeves on there are nice and smooth. Um, it definitely is going to be a staple.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I'll pull it up again so you guys can check
Mhm,
it out one more time. I'll use the. I've got another video of it.
mhm.
That's a little bit where I move a little bit slower, where I'm spinning it, so you guys can check that out. Roll it, and that's our okay. Here you go, so you guys can see.
It felt like I was holding, and I was telling this to John last night. I was like, holding it, it feels like as if you're holding a trident. So, and I know he puts it, he's like, well, how do you know what holding a trident feels like? I'm like, I'm just saying. That's how it feels.
There you go. All right. All right. So that is the mermaid bar. All right. So
Mhm,
see here, remove that. All right. So a couple of things. Let's see here. So now we can go to the comments about the mermaid bar.
mhm,
So we've already got some votes. Shout out to the 544 you guys who are watching right now. I want you to vote on this as well. So Carlos said RitFit should definitely mass produce the mermaid bar.
mhm,
And he also says that video, because he actually already watched the video, the reveal of the mermaid bar when it arrived at the house.
mhm.
And he said that video brought a tear to my eye. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Let's see here. George Risto says, good morning. Good morning,
Good
George. What's
morning,
up, man?
George.
What is up? Shawn says, absolutely should mass produce the mermaid bar. My gym is monochromatic at best, so I'm all down for pops of color in my gym. I was
Mhm,
actually surprised by how many guys were interested in the mermaid bar when we posted it on Instagram and people were
mhm,
commenting or whatever.
mhm,
And so I realized that okay, there's a couple things about this bar. First of all, um the way that it looks may be similar to, so I see that
and I
Jeff and
and
Perrin said that Valor Fitness sells
and
a
I just
mermaid
pulled it
bar,
up. It's
right?
actually called the rainbow coated needle bearing bar because I went and
Right.
I looked it up.
That's
Um,
such an amazing catchy name. But I don't know if the specs are the same, but here's the thing. It's um I we believe that RitFit can put this coating or this color pattern on
mhm,
any of their bars, because the way that this came about, as Naomi was saying, this wasn't a bar that they planned on ever selling. And in
right.
fact, they don't plan on selling it unless enough people want it, right? So they picked a platform, they picked one of their bars and basically put those coatings on it, right? To
Mhm,
do the kind of like the flip-flop color on it. And I call it that because it reminds me of those flip-flop cars. Where they used to do like flip cars with the different colors on them.
mhm,
Um, and they did that. So I would assume, I haven't confirmed this with Matt Baliano because he was up really late. I was messaging him last night, and he was still at the airport, or he was still, I think, in Chicago at like 10 o'clock at night because trying to get home. to Ohio. So I'm not trying to wake him up right now asking him questions. I will, if people want to know, I will ask him this question definitely. But I believe they can put it on any one of their bars. So that's another thing, is like, which platform do they put it on, or do they put it on a completely different from scratch bar? Okay. The thing that really means a lot to us though, is because Naomi doesn't get excited about bars. She'll be like, "Oh, okay, that's cool," right? And then, but when we saw this bar, she was extremely excited, and then we posted it. And I remember Jeff and Perrin, actually, I remember you guys, Perrin actually reaching out asking about the bar, so she wanted to know where it was, because she was trying to find it on my Instagram or on YouTube. So I know that there's interest, but I kept seeing guys like say, "Oh man, heck yeah, I'd love that bar for my home gym," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then fast forward to now, we were able to get the bar here through a series of events that was really special, and I don't want to tell you guys all about it because I don't want to ruin the video. I'm just telling you, it was a really, really special occurrence, and I'm super grateful to Refit for them making it possible.
There were a lot of people working in the shadows, apparently.
It was a group effort. Jonathan said, "Hey, yo, the bat guy is here checking in."
Check
Chico,
it in.
he just did his Razor Ramon. So Jared, I'll let you in on a secret, a little bit behind the scenes, right? So we wanted to do the video to like roll the bar to show it, and then we're like, well, we can't really do it on the floor. So it's like, so Naomi was going to put her on some J hooks. Well, the only J hooks we have right now are all bells of steel J hooks, right? Or most of them are all bells of steel J hooks. And I didn't feel like it was really cool to, especially considering how we got the bar, I didn't feel like it was cool to kind of display it along with another brand's J hooks. So I went digging over there in the archives and found my original first set of, well, not first, but one of my older sets of J hooks that I used when I was powerlifting before we got the monolift attachments from Bells of Steel, and they don't have any logo on them. So that's why it's sitting on something without UHMW, but or HDPE more specifically. But yeah, normally it is. It's just for the purposes of the video. It wasn't. I didn't put it on there. And Carlos said, "I'm looking at it glistening, thinking I have the power." I hear you. All right, and here's a question. So Shawn asked a question. He said he wants to know the specs. Okay.
And we got that for you.
We went and found the specs, and even that's a story. So go ahead, tell them about how we found the specs while I pull up the
So again, it was like looking for it, and it was like, it's on the end cap. So took a picture of the end cap because it has the spec on there, and then went upstairs and we start looking at all of the RitFit bars to see which of the bars actually met those specs. And so the Mermaid bar is made the same way as the patriotic colored Olympic bar. Because it has the exact same specs.
However, once again, we don't know if this is what I guess if enough people want it on this, platform, then they would just use the same bar that they use for the patriotic bar. But yeah, it's because we don't know if they're gonna make it. I can't tell you. So the one downstairs is a 28 millimeter. I can tell you that.
Because it's kind of odd to say it, but it is the unicorn for RitFit.
It is the only one that exists, unless they've made another one since they sent this one to her. Like, I cannot emphasize enough. They made this one bar. It was on the display.
It was just for display.
Rack. It was on the display rack, and she said she liked it, and it was still sitting there. And so, yeah.
So to be, I was going to go ahead and ding myself, and we're not going to start the ding about today.
You about to say it. If she says it, and y'all don't give me credit. If she says it, it's hers. All right. I haven't said it. Okay.
Because I think you hit the high of
I haven't said it.
10 at one time.
I don't know what you're talking about. I live
However,
in the past.
I do plan to use that bar to hit my deadlift goals and PRs, definitely, or any of my PRs as I continue to grow with lifting. That is definitely the bar I'm going to be pulling. That's going to be a staple.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
it's so Carlos said that would look great with the shiny plates. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that well, okay. Yes, it would look good. And we do have plans on putting the plates and the bar together for Naomi to use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be a 135, which is, she's capable of doing for multiple reps, as she demonstrated the other day.
In street clothes.
In street clothes. It's just yeah, we just hadn't gotten around to it's funny because our daughter like insisted on picking it up when she saw it. She said, "Ooh," and she picked it up. And then
See?
I'm okay. I get it. I'm glad y'all look. Remember, I left. I said, "Y'all do whatever you want. I gotta go." Right. So I left because I had places to be. I had to go to work. But yes, you will see by special request. You will see a video with that bar and the shiny plate and the RitFit shiny plates, as you call them. That'll be coming out. You know what? We'll post it on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. And we'll tag you. So the Valor's a 25 millimeter. Oh, that means that means it's whippy. And it's 33 pounds. Let me see here. So the Patriot bar. Now you got me wondering what's the
I
how
think
much
the
is
Patriot bar is 44 pounds or
I want to say that
45.
that's how much it weighs, but I don't I'm looking to see I'm trying to look at the gear specs, but it's not sure. I mean, I'm looking at like sleeve diameter, all this other stuff. And yeah, shaft finish. I know what the flange is now. What it doesn't say is what's the it probably says it like on the end cap or something like that. Yeah, it's 20 kilogram bar. Okay. Yeah. What did I say? So yeah, I was making it way too complicated. So it's 44 and change. So it's a heavier bar and it's not as whippy. So that's it. Oh shoot, I meant to grab the kettlebell because we forgot to do the post to show that RitFit sent us that kettlebell, the 10 kilogram kettlebell.
Well, we had that scheduled to take pictures today.
So yes. Okay. So we got one. Shout out to RitFit. Thank you, Summer. And we will post that picture as well. It's been a wild ride the last couple of days.
This couple days have been, with primary job, and then it's just been a lot.
Yeah,
been a lot this week.
So yeah, so we do appreciate getting the kettlebells. As Shawn said, if you thought influencer kettlebells from RitFit were cool, Naomi raises you a 1-of-1 barbell. Hey, I'm telling you, we are 100% grateful. Like I was telling Trevor on the phone, just offline this, I say, it's amazing how like it came together. And I was shocked by it. Number one, how quickly they jumped on it. And they were just like, without hesitation, they said, yeah. And I sent a message to them and I was like, hey, can we, because first of all, y'all browbeat me on January 30th. I even remember the date. Y'all, not you, Naomi. Everybody in the chat browbeat me. Get her the bar. Stop being cheap, John. I'm like, how am I supposed to buy a bar that's not available for sale?
It wasn't for sale
multiple times. It literally was the only one. And then I said, all right. And then during that episode, I said, okay, you know what? January 30th, I said, okay, fine, I'll get the bar. So when the show was over, I didn't say anything else. The show was over. I sent out a text message to Matt from RitFit and Tom from RitFit. And both of them answered like, oh yeah, we remember the bar. We remember you saying something about it. And yeah, she can definitely have it. In fact, let me see if I can find this video here.
Now, again, the video is dropping after the show. So are you grabbing snippets from?
No, this is from the thing that we had with you and Tom. If I can pull this, I think it will pull up.
Shimmer that goes from pink to blue.
Yeah, this is you and Tom.
To gold, silver. I mean, You see how pretty
It's
it
very
is as you turn
iridescent.
it?
And it's so cool.
And what did you say they should call it?
The mermaid.
The mermaid bar.
Because I mean, like
The mermaid bar.
like this
All
is
right.
like scales. It's not knurling. That's scales.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So and it does have your Olympic rings
Right.
too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's definitely it's an upgraded women's bar. If you actually think about it.
Nice. Love it.
And the sleeves too.
Yep. So you spin.
There you go.
So
I mean,
cool.
it's so smooth.
I love
It's just it's sexy.
And y'all made that just because you could, and now she's like, "Hey, you know what? We could make this into something." Mermaid bar. There you go. All right. So, as I said, they didn't plan on selling it. It was
No.
just hanging there. We were walking by, and of course, I didn't notice it. Naomi was like, "Hey, what's that?" I was like, "What's what? We're in a gym, we're in a store full of stuff." And she went like straight over to it, and that's where the saga began last August. So there we go. All right. So what I need from you guys is RitFit. All they ask is in exchange for this happening is they want to know if you guys want them to make that bar available. And in the I would assume in the 28 millimeter, exact same specs or whatever. Do you think that bar should be available? And if it was, would you buy it? Okay. So, hey, we got one vote. There we go. Yep. Ashley says, I will buy that. Exactly. There you go. That's what I need. I need you. And if you're watching on replay, shout out to the replay gang. Answer the question of the day. Sometimes you guys come in and you put comments, but you forget to answer the question of the day. Please answer the question of the day. Should RitFit make this bar? You can also answer it on the video itself that's going to be publishing right after this show is over. Go ahead, check that out. Even if you don't watch it today, watch it at some point this weekend, because that's another thing they're looking at to see how popular that video becomes, because that's also going to let them know what sort of buzz there is around the barbell, and whether it's it's worth the production cost to make it. So if you want to see it, that's what y'all need to do. All right, it's free to comment. It's free to comment. Hey, Angel Seth Lopez, what's up, man? One of the best pizza makers on the planet. I don't care what anybody says. All right, he was there. That's the same weekend that we met Angel.
Yep.
That's the weekend that we saw the mermaid bar. So go ahead.
Best pizza.
Yes.
Awesome pizza. And
hands down.
I can judge pizza. Okay.
I don't say it's the best pizza in the world, but he's one of the best. He's
West
in the
Coast.
Top.
For West Coast pizza.
Bill's Pizza is on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? So, remember, he said that he had to go to Bill's Pizza because he's like, I got to see if they're up to my standard. So, I'm down for that trip, okay? I'm down for that trip.
Ooh, a head-to-head.
I'm telling you, I'm down for that.
A Bobby Flay head-to-head competition of pizza makers.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
We're putting it out there.
All right, let's see here. Hey, David, what's up, man? Why are you up so late? David is usually up late at night, and then he goes to bed about 5 a.m. because he's up making stuff for you guys. But he stayed up. Hey, I appreciate you staying up way too late for us, David. Jeff said, I reached out about it. They didn't respond to the Valor. Look, like I'm telling you, so you got the Valor. Okay, you can have more than one bar, but the thing is, remember, like when you reached out about it, they weren't going to make the bar. This is us. You guys are going to have to convince them to make the bar if you want it in those specs. All right. So there you go. Angel said, man, I still got to try Bill's Pizza. I haven't been to Palm Springs in quite a while. Definitely going to make that trip sometime this year. Oh, I was about to say maybe we could try it in March at HFA, but that's too much.
That's too much.
And that's going to be a long drive. It'll have to be a special trip, which I'm okay with. David said he's working. Okay, so there you go. He's making stuff for y'all.
He's always working. He's in the lab or the back cave.
Yeah, the back cave.
The back cave.
All right.
Yep.
All right, there's 2,035 of you guys watching, and believe it or not, we have only gotten to the question of the day. We're not even a third of the way, and it's already almost 6:30. So let's move on to the next news item, and that is the Starbucks protein rollout. So I know what you're saying to yourself. What is a Starbucks protein rollout? Well, apparently, and for those of you guys who go to Starbucks a lot, apparently Starbucks is looking to increase the amount of protein that they offer, because they said that protein is now a main driver for traffic. It's why a lot of customers are going there. So people aren't just going there for coffee; they are going there for their protein offerings, protein choices. It's not why I would go to Starbucks, but if you're going there anyway, like if I'm going there anyway, I'll probably pick the protein thing over their coffee, if that,
Well,
if that
like
makes sense.
I know,
Because I'm
like
not a Starbucks person.
well, with those, designer coffee, I guess you would call it,
Yeah.
because of Starbucks or Dunkin', stuff like that. So you do have people that, especially if they're on their fitness journey, whether it's weight loss or, a lot of those coffees are considered, it's a meal, and so you do have your lighter options. But when they rolled out their protein options, I've tried both Starbucks. I've tried the Dunkin' Donut, um,
The
protein
protein.
yeah, their
Okay.
protein options. And I between the two of those, I actually like Dunkin'
But
for their
yeah, but you
matcha.
like Dunkin' better anyway.
It depends. Well, it depends.
I'm just
So I
saying,
am
oh boy, here we go.
well. See, the
All
thing
I
is,
You grew up with
Dunkin'.
Dunkin'.
True. So growing up,
All right.
Dunkin' was our option. We didn't really have Starbucks growing up there. Either that or you got coffee at your local bodega. Um,
Yes. And
but
I vote Bodega.
bodega, yeah, they will get
Having
greased back.
tried all the options that we just mentioned, I'm gonna go Bodega if I'm gonna get
But
coffee.
again, with the protein options, and you scrolled past it just now with your screen share. The You do have like a vanilla latte. You
That
have your
right there.
matcha. Yeah, you have your matcha latte. There's another option that they give. I'm a matcha
Let me
girl,
see.
so it's actually really really good. But that way you can still stay
See the menus.
within your macros if you're counting your macros. But it's not just Starbucks. There's also other chains that are increasing their protein as option, and they're
Yeah.
marketing their increase in protein. Like Chipotle is
Yep.
another one with their protein pack bowls. I think their highest
Mhm.
one that they have right now was marketed. I want to say it's 31, but I think I saw there was one like it was 80 um,
Grams of
grams of
protein.
protein.
Okay.
So
I mean,
I'll
you're
have to
obviously
double check.
excited about it. I'm like, okay.
And so I am perfectly happy without a whole lot of meat. Um, but yeah, that's completely opposite than my husband. But like with the beans, the vegetables, even with the steak, I like all of that within with Chipotle. But again, it gives me options where it's still helping me with my fitness journey and my weight
Right.
journey. So I think that's
I
actually
mean,
kind of cool.
I don't. So it's like I think that the way that you look at it is, it's not like it's a substitute. Okay, if I'm saying okay, I need protein, the answer isn't to go to Starbucks, right? But to me, it's like if I'm going to be at Starbucks, this is
Hmm.
a better option than the other stuff I potentially would get. You know what I'm
So
saying? It's like you say, okay, well, I'm gonna get,
mhm.
and the reason why I say I wouldn't go to Starbucks is because that's not enough protein for me, right? So I would, and to me, coffee isn't as satisfying as eating a piece of grilled chicken, in terms of being satiated, right? Because
Mhm.
I'm not going to be full. And then, or even steak or just whatever the other protein, or a protein shake, is going to fill me up better than drinking some Starbucks, right? Or
So
or or
I
or
think
protein anywhere else.
so. I'm thinking like when you travel. So I have to travel periodically with my previous job or my current job, and so with that, at the airport, what some options do you have? Okay, you have Dunkin', you have Starbucks, you
True.
have other.
Yeah.
So and you may have snacks,
Grindhouse
whatnot.
burger.
Well, you may not have time to sit down and get a groundhouse burger for them to make it. You may only have time to put your order
That's
in,
true.
grab a coffee, and get to a plane. So again, giving you better options to
You get
choose
options.
from.
That's true.
So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's how I look at it. It's like, this is like something that I'm not gonna like Starbucks isn't a destination for me, right? So I know that people say, "Oh, I feel like Starbucks. I'm gonna go to Starbucks," right?
Mm-hmm.
I am more like somebody else is going to Starbucks and I'm with them in the car,
Mm-hmm.
or like I don't even pass Starbucks and say, "Ooh, I want to stop," right? I don't even think like that.
Right.
Instead, so that's why I said it's not going to be like a choice A or primary choice for me. It's
Mm-hmm.
more like, oh, if I'm there anyway, then this is going to be because there's food. First of all, they got small food, so that's
Mm-hmm.
another reason I don't like going over there. All right, they got small food, but if I have the small food and then they've got protein with their other stuff that they offer, that may kind of balance it out.
Yeah.
Um, they're also planning to add an afternoon platform with some snackable proteins. I would assume that means like nuts. They already got the Greek yogurt in 2
Mm-hmm.
flavors.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna add fiber, and then they said they're also gonna bring out energy drinks, which for the afternoon. So it'll be like you have the option of blended or sparkling, so more like a sort of
Mm-hmm.
kind of like more like a pre-workout type of feel, although not as strong as that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. But hey, one of my founding principles is I don't yuck another person's yum. So if you love it, I'm all about it. And
So
I will go get your Starbucks for you, Naomi. If you tell me I want Starbucks, I go get it. In fact, that's actually probably the best way to show I'm not a Starbucks person. I'm fully capable of going to Starbucks to get Naomi something and not getting anything for myself.
well, much as I appreciate it, again, also logistics also counts for me. So when you say, well, you're usually at Dunkin', well, actually, Dunkin' is closer to where we are in both
Yes.
directions now.
Yeah. But Dunkin'
But
has bigger food.
it
So
does have
I
bigger
probably
food.
yeah.
But when it comes down to their protein, like their protein drinks,
Yeah.
matcha, again, using matcha because I love matcha, head to
Okay.
head, Dunkin's is actually smoother
Okay.
than Starbucks. And yes, it's a New England, but so that would explain why I was always up up
I
in New
guess that
York and
makes sense.
whatnot.
Yeah. Because I
Yeah,
mean, they had it in Maryland. Yeah.
yeah.
That
I
makes
didn't have
sense. And
Starbucks
well,
until I
didn't
moved to the
start.
South.
Starbucks is a
True.
more is a younger brand as well.
Hmm.
I think they're Seattle, so they're more of a
Yeah.
West Coast brand.
Hmm.
All right. And now next item is apparently this is for the wearables crowd. Garmin, there's a leak on the Garmin's Canadian website.
Hmm.
And they had a listing for something called a Circa Smart Band wearable.
Hmm.
And that was quickly removed. So the thought process is that this may be something that they are coming up with to rival Whoop.
Right.
I don't even know how you say. Is it Whoop?
It's
Whoop.
Whoop. Yeah,
Whoop.
it's Whoop.
Okay, to rival Whoop.
Hmm.
I've seen it written but never heard it pronounced. So it's according to this is from Athletech News again, as was the
Hmm.
previous story. So Garmin may be launching a Whoop competitor and potentially entering the screenless wearable market with a new device. So
Hmm.
this is that's a Whoop, but the idea is that Garmin may be trying to launch something to compete with that. Based upon what people could find from the leak before it was taken down, it's likely to come in small, medium, and large, extra large, and they think it's going to probably be a wrist monitor, not something for your upper arm. And they're thinking it's going to compete with the Whoop 5.0. So I like tracking my data, which is why I have my phone in my pocket or in my hand all the time,
Hmm.
because I don't like wearing, after I stopped wearing a wristwatch when I got out of the Marine Corps, I don't like wearing anything other than I wear my dog tags and I wear my wedding ring, and that's it, right?
Hmm.
So I kind of got out of that, but I know I respect the value of having something that's tracking you all of the time
Hmm.
instead of you having to remember to input data.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because what people always forget to do, input the
Input the
data.
data.
All
Yeah.
right. So it's better if it's like constantly just tracking you, and it usually it links up, like yours links up with your phone.
Hmm.
So you're constantly able to just look at it and whatever, see where you are. So I do like the idea, and I think that competition is always a good thing. As the fitness tech side of the family, what do you think of this?
So Whoop wearers are like, they're ravenous for Whoop, if they use that. Usually when Whoop came into, I guess, the tech, sphere, it was mainly for a lot of cyclists that used it. I use Apple Watch, or I use the Smart Ring from Amazon to keep track of just my data, my fitness, my sleep, etc. I don't know how I would feel about wearing a band that doesn't have a monitor, because again, like even with my watch, it has a purpose. It's a watch, I can tell time, I can see my messages, I could tap pay kind of thing. I think for the Garmin, and again, Garmin wearers are ravenous, about Garmin. You're either like an Android fan versus an Apple fan. You go in one of two categories. But it'd be interesting to see how their screenless wristband would be with Garmin. Like, can you use it for swimming?
I would
Can you
assume
use
that's
it?
why they're giving it without a screen, so there are fewer things that water could seep into.
I can swim with
But
mine,
I
and it keeps
understand. I'm
track,
just saying.
and also
Yeah.
lets me know how many laps.
Okay.
So it lets me know how many laps I've done. It lets me know what my distance is,
Yes,
etc.
but
I like
you.
those I like seeing those metrics.
However,
Uh-huh.
all of that stuff you just described that Whoop has might be proprietary in terms of the design.
Well, no. I don't know if Whoop does that. I know that Whoop does it for cycling, but I don't know. Does Whoop also do the thing for swimming?
No, I'm
I don't
talking about
know.
having a screen and all that other stuff that may be part of like the Whoop design, and so they may not be able to use that if that specific design is patented.
Mhm. Is
Which
there any?
and we can't really compare it because this is
Yeah.
all based off of a leak, not off of something that actually exists. It's funny because this is the second topic we talk about, something that technically doesn't exist.
So here's a question because there's 1.4 I was gonna say million, haha, we're projecting,
Hey, let's do it.
manifesting,
Yeah.
but there's 1,300 of you guys watching right now, 14, because it's
Yeah.
varying. But if there's anyone that's watching that does use Whoop, put in the chat, what is it about Whoop that, number one, sold you? What is
Yep.
it that makes you come back to it and use it, or even upgrade? Because there have been multiple versions of the Whoop band. Or if you use Garmin. I've never really used, well, let me take that back. I may have used a Garmin in the early 2000s, and then I got an Apple Watch, and then from there I never changed. I know I used a Fitbit for a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Only thing I have tracking me is my phone. That's just way too many things. Just way too many things.
I just like the convenience of it. I don't want to
Yeah.
have to open up my phone to be able to see my metrics. If I'm, going for a run or
That's
I'm
true.
cycling
If
and
I
whatnot.
was a runner, I probably
Yeah.
would want to know. Yeah, that's a good point. Because
So
yeah. Angel, I saw the your comment, and no, the functionality won't allow you to put images because people do weird stuff on YouTube, and so YouTube has blocked that sort of thing. However, I looked on Instagram because Angel said he has his daughter. So let's start right here. Angel's daughter works at Starbucks. They were having a conversation about the protein with Starbucks, and he asked her for the macros, and she sent the photo. And I'm not sure if she's supposed to share it, but I'm just gonna go right ahead. He shared it with me, so I'm gonna go ahead and show it right now.
you
So
just got to keep it a secret.
yeah.
Okay.
So all 1,400 plus of you, make sure you don't tell anybody. All right. So this is here are the macros.
It's a circle of trust, everybody. Circle
That's
of
right.
trust.
These are the macros for the Starbucks whey protein powder. So okay, looks pretty standard. Contains milk. Okay. So does milk. All right. I mean, that's funny that the educational system is such that you have to tell people that whey contains milk.
Well, for allergy purposes, because there are people that can't digest milk.
Shouldn't you already know that whey is a milk product? Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet.
The thing is you'll be surprised what people
Little
will
Miss
use.
Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curds and whey. Curds
Again,
and whey are milk products. Milk
customer
byproducts.
service staff. You could just Google people losing their mind on something simple. It's like,
And they
don't
can
you know?
and they can
Da-da-da-da.
Google milk and milk byproducts.
I understand that. I understand. There's some people
Yeah,
that
now
just
y'all
don't
see
know
the
how to.
difference between me and her, right? She's always like that. She's got like the empathy, and I'm like, I don't need empathy. I married empathies, right? I'm like,
We're two opposite ends of the
I'm
spectrum.
like,
We're
whatever.
very, very opposite.
But let's see here. So, all right, looks like it's 25. So there's 30 servings per container, 25 calories per serving. Okay.
Mhm.
No trans fat. No saturated. Well, yeah, no saturated fat, no cholesterol. Okay, all right. That's interesting that there's no carbs. How did you get the carbs?
Again, it's proprietary, probably. So again, this is a circle of trust. Who knows?
How did you get the carbs out the milk, man? Okay, all right. And no sugar. Okay, this milk has been just a lot of things have happened to it in its short life. All right, no problem. Hey, that's good info though. All right.
Yep. There have been some answers to the other question of who's used like Whoop. Let's see.
Carlos is apparently an android. Good
We
to
forgive
know.
you. We forgive you.
Um,
I'm just kidding, Carlos.
Jeff Perrin says they use Whoop, and they said
So-
I don't miss or wish for a screen as I just
Mhm.
look at my phone for the data. Again, though, well, actually, but they do. I think I don't remember which one of them, but I know one of them does some sort of endurance racing.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's just 5Ks or what, but
Mhm.
I just assume that that's something that you like because of the triathlons and the swimming and things like that.
But again, I like it with the monitor because I'm not grabbing my phone. Because again, if I'm cycling, my phone is on my holder on the handlebars, and so it's a lot easier for me to just kind of look down at my wrist than tap my screen. Because again, I'm trying to, because of the distance, I want to also make sure that my battery life is good. Not only letting it track my mileage, but I also, for safety purposes, I send a notification to you where I'm at. So if anything happens, you know exactly where I am in case of emergency. So I don't really mess with my phone when it comes down to that. But with Whoop, is it worn on your? It's worn on your wrist, right? I know I've seen some use it where it's like maybe on the forearm, or I'm just thinking how I've seen some of those screenless bands work, or on their upper arm. So I assume it's on your wrist, but just out of curiosity.
You guys make sure you comment if you're watching on replay as well. We're interested in hearing. We go back and we read the comments, so we're interested in hearing your thing. Carlos said, I've been using Samsung Health ever since the Samsung Galaxy Gear Watch because all of my data stays in the ecosystem.
Now, there's several content creators that I watch on YouTube that use the Samsung Galaxy Gear, like with their watch and everything, and that they like it. It looks good. I don't know if it would make me transfer over to them because again, I'm an Apple Watch user.
Person.
I am.
Carp says, I used to be a Fitbit person for years. Once I tried Garmin after my cousin, I was a college track athlete. Now a Masters Ironman competitor recommended it, and I've never looked back. He said he's never used Whoop. And he says his wife also prefers Garmin now too. I know Garmin is more of like a kind of like a endurance, kind of like competitive endurance type deal. Angel said he asked his daughter about the macros because he's currently running keto diet and the protein powder is thankfully keto. Okay. And Jeff and Perrin said if I look down while running, I'll probably trip. Hey, look, okay. Whoop is apparently wrist underwear, arm and chest. You can wear it in your clothing. Okay, I was about to say, hey, what? I don't understand. There's a lot of information. That's just like wrist underwear, arm and chest.
Dinner first?
Sure. Could we clarify?
I'm not sure. Take me to dinner first.
Anyway. So we once again run out of time. Because it's time for Recliner Rage, and then we already got Shawn backstage. But it's a good problem to have that we run out of time. So we're going to continue the rest of the topics next week. But right now, Naomi also, the other reason why we're ending is because Naomi's got to take our daughter to school, and I have to crash out in the most popular segment. So Naomi, real quick, tell them where they can follow you and how to subscribe to your channel.
You can follow me at Naomi Greaves on YouTube. You can just hit like, subscribe. I'm also on Instagram under Naomi Harris Greaves, where I'll go ahead and post. You see my every day. So thanks so very much, everybody. And also like and subscribe and share with Garage Gym Life. And thanks for joining us on Up Way Too Early, especially with me. So thanks, everybody.
All right. And that's it. We're sad to see you go, but I know what you're about to do after you drop Nora off. And it rhymes with Aiken and Staken.
Well, we've got Little Miss has to go to the vet.
At
so
some
when I
point,
get back.
Thank you. All right, there we go. Bacon. Bacon, 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 bacon.
When I get back, I'll go ahead and I'll make the bacon.
Yes.
With hot honey. Hot honey, yes.
Bye. There'll be no dang sweet. No, we don't do that. We don't do that around here. We don't do that, right? And you know what? Here we go. It is now time. I'm not in the right mood because she said hot honey on my bacon. Time for Recliner of Rage. It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage, because he's not happy.
You know, it's ironic that we were talking about wearables and having to reach down and take your phone out your pocket and all this other kind of stuff and how inconvenient that is, because today's Recliner Rage is dedicated to my InBody scale, which is a great scale, except for the fact that you stand on the scale. You're not supposed to move. You stand on the scale so that you can, find out how much you weigh. All right. But then if you want to sync that with your phone, then you got to pick the phone up. But as soon as you pick up the phone, guess what just happened? That's right, the weight of the phone. And I know that it's not that much, but it's too much right now. I'm trying to lose weight, okay? So I pick up the phone. That's extra weight. I'm holding the phone in my hand. I got to hit sync, okay? Then it says, oh, put the phone down. Then it says, all right, put the phone down and stand still. All right, well, which one is it? Put the phone down or stand still? All right, fine. I put the phone down. It says stand still, so I stand still. It says, okay, now reach down and grab the handles so that you can grab the handle so that you sync the rest of your health data. Guess what? When I move, that causes it to change. It registers as a change in weight. Once again, then you stand up. Then you're like, all right, now, don't move. But also, it doesn't tell you that you're supposed to put your thumbs on the little electrodes until after you've been standing there not moving for a minute, which means you got to move, right? So that's disrupting the test. So which one is it? Is it stand still, bend over, pick up the handles? Is it stand still, move your thumbs? Which one is it? Make up your mind. I'm getting mixed signals. And I need clarity at this critical time in my life. I just want to know how much I weigh, and I want you to send it to my phone so I can keep track of it. But because apparently I can't trust technology, I write it on the dry erase board. All right, just like I did when I was fighting. It's like you weigh in and you weigh out at the end of training, so you know what you weigh. And then the goal is you just weigh whatever you weighed in the morning. You need to weigh that or less at night. That's just it. But I can't track it over time. I don't have a dry erase board that's big enough to track something for 3 months long, for 3 months straight. So that's what I depend on my phone for. So let's circle back around to, how am I supposed to get accurate data if the only way that the thing can give me the accurate data is if I pick up the phone and pick up the handles, which in itself alters the results of the test. Fix it! That's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. Also, bonus rage, there ain't going to be no honey on my bacon. Bacon is already candy. It's meat candy. It's inherently meat candy. You don't need to put nothing sweet on it. That's what them Canadians do. That's why you can't trust them. All right. That's enough of that. Let's calm down. Let's just calm down. Okay. Calm down. Take a breath. You don't need no high blood pressure, plus you got a whole show to do. So just calm all the way down. That's better. By the way, guys, before I bring Shawn on, I want to mention that we are, as you guys can see with this show, we're trying to do something different. And in doing something different on YouTube for the home gym community, it means that we have to figure out how to monetize this thing in order to do it correctly. All right. And I know I understand, it's like awkward asking for money. All right. So I'm not asking for money. What I am telling you to do is I need you to go to the link that's in our video description. And I want you to click the links to the affiliate links that we have in there and just go and shop. Click the links in the video description and just go to whatever website it is and shop for stuff that's cool. You can go to Bells of Steel. You can shop for cool products like the single stack cable tower or any of their products. And it's not going to it's not going to affect the price. You're not going to end up paying more, but it will let them know that we just send you their way. Click the link and go to Synergy Custom Fitness. Grab one, if not the actual best dumbbell storage solution in the world, as far as I'm concerned. Grab it from there, and it just lets them know, once again, that we sent you to them. And you're also going to get a discount if you shop at Synergy Custom Fitness using that link. So once again, guys, this is one of the ways that that you can help us try to change YouTube for the better. I'm not saying we're trying to get rid of the other home gym content. Definitely not. All right. Instead, what I want to do is give you guys an alternative, and you can help me do that by simply just clicking those links that are in the video description so that you can support the show. I appreciate that. All right. Now, let's go ahead and let's add LinkedIn to the show, and then we are going to say what's up. All right. It is now time to say what's up to the Central Time Zone. So shout out to the Central Time Zone. We appreciate all of you for starting your Friday by getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Welcome to everybody who's joining us from LinkedIn. We are heading into the second hour of the show. And since you're watching on LinkedIn, make sure you follow our LinkedIn show page, Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life, so you don't miss a single episode as we continue to interview the most influential business owners, CEOs, and content creators, all of whom influence the home fitness community and make this whole thing possible and fun. We like talking to both longtime veterans and new content creators like my next guest, Shawn Burnett, who is the founder of Colonial Barbell Club YouTube channel and Instagram. All right, Shawn, are you ready? My man said he's ready. All right, so let's go ahead, give him a warm welcome. Come on in, Shawn.
Morning. How's everyone doing?
What's up?
How's the audio? Making sure
everything's fine except this vertical or phone orientation, but we'll work with it. There you go. Some people, because
there you go. How to get the MySpace angle for all the older heads. Yeah, there we go.
The thing, I do hear the echo when I talk. So the reason why I like the sideways angle is because when I do this, people who are watching you on TV will be able to see it'll be the right aspect ratio.
Yeah.
Because we're going to make you famous worldwide. Kevin in Japan has got to still be awake. I know he is.
Yeah, I had to give him a follow after he was on all the cool stuff he was talking about. So
heck yeah.
What's up, Kevin?
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into this because some of you guys, some of the people watching are not familiar with you because, like I said, you do have a newer channel. So here's your chance to tell everybody what it's about. I'm going to give you the big screen, and I want you. I don't know if you've ever done an elevator speech or not, but if you haven't, today's the day. Okay.
All right, I'll do my best.
I want you to describe your channel for everyone in 30 seconds or less. And the time starts now.
So the reason I started Colonial Barbell Club was for people who are starting from literally nothing in their home gym. And as I get healthier and more fit, the more information I'll be able to give to those people who are starting at the ground level, just like me. My gym started in COVID. Now I'm here. So let's get healthy and fit and strong together. It's the whole basis of the Colonial Barbell Club.
With the I like that because you started your channel. I know you said that you started it kind of as a way to stay accountable and inspire
Mhm.
other people. Um, so Instagram is kind of obvious because people post their stuff all the time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What made YouTube the right platform for you to document your I don't want to say your journey, but your process? Because it's more than just because you can describe your journey in one video, but now
Yeah.
it's like, but we're also getting to see your process. So what made YouTube the right place for that?
Um, I kind of like the YouTube community a tiny bit more than Instagram.
Hmm.
Plus it also, I mean, I can record I do record my workouts on my phone, but with YouTube, I can also get that feedback from more experienced like lifters. Like I primarily do powerlifting, so getting a tip said, hey, don't round your back. Hey, brace more here. Uh, use your quads more in this lift and that lift. I think I get a better response as far as technique when I'm lifting from YouTube. Um, and sometimes I feel like Instagram can be a little more trolly at times, but whereas YouTube isn't as trolly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. There's we're starting to get your you're getting your what you call your fan club is jumping in here.
Sweet, man.
So yeah, so we already got the questions. So I'm starting the questions, and I will make sure that I'll make sure that
Go for
we
it, man. I'm
don't miss them.
one cup of coffee deep. I'm ready to
Oh,
go.
we're good. Yeah, no. So if you guys have questions for Shawn, go ahead and just throw them in there. Throw them into the chat. And of course, you see going across the bottom, I want you guys to subscribe to at Colonial Barbell Club. Let's get my man to 1,000 subscribers as quickly as possible.
That would be huge.
To quote Spaceballs, let's do it at ludicrous speed. So the reason why I like YouTube is it becomes a searchable library, right?
Yeah.
So there's stuff that I posted on Instagram that I can't find anymore. I have a hard time finding it, and I know I posted. I'm like, no, I know I posted this, and then I gotta like, so then you got to go to your feed, your main profile page, and you basically just you doom scroll yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, essentially.
all right, let me see if I can find it. With YouTube, you can filter with your the title, your description. It makes it, and which makes sense because it's actually YouTube is actually a search engine. It's not social
Yeah.
media, it's a search engine. So I that's the main reason why I prefer YouTube. The fact that it's easier to get paid on YouTube doesn't hurt either. But the main
Yeah.
reason why I prefer YouTube is because it's easier to search, which means if somebody's looking for a solution that your
Quick
video
and
is a
easy.
solution to, yeah, it's a lot easier for them to find it than it is, I mean, I don't want to make it sound like Instagram doesn't pop up in search results.
Yeah.
Google and the answers on Instagram, it'll show that too. But I'm just saying, in general, you're gonna get better results from that sort of thing on YouTube.
That definitely makes sense. Because when the new year started, I put up a new whiteboard and I took out all of my PRs and I was like, crap, I can't really remember my PRs. And I
Yeah.
remember I did the garage gym competition. Shout out to Joe Gray of
Yep.
Gray Matter Lifting. Because I recorded all 3 lifts and all the
Yeah.
PRs. I'm like, oh, I gotta find this thing. I don't know where it is. So that makes sense. If I would have YouTubed it, it would be quick and easy to find.
And you
So I
can
could
put it in
record it.
playlists, so it's easy to
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
if nothing else, I can go to the playlist and look for it, right?
exactly.
So Jared wants to know what it means to be colonial. I mean, that's a kind of
For
house, isn't it?
what's up?
It's a kind of house.
Yeah,
There you
for
go.
one,
That's what I figured you meant.
being in the area I live in, full disclosure, I live in like Hampton, Virginia.
Okay.
I'm a stone's throw away from Williamsburg, so Colonial Williamsburg,
Mm.
and it's just a kind of a homage to where I've grown up for the past 37 years. So And to kind of quote Tommy from Massonomics, I am kind of a history buff, and I love this area. It's so fun to I learn something new almost every day about the people who lived here in, 1600s. It's so cool. I absolutely love it.
That's actually pretty interesting. I had no idea that's where you lived. So I grew up in Maryland, but
Another big hub of history.
We would go to well, obviously King's Dominion, but we'd also go to other places in Virginia periodically. So yeah. I will say, although I grew up in Maryland, I prefer Virginia to Maryland. Just as a general rule, I prefer Virginia to Maryland.
Yeah, I've heard that of a lot of like Virginia transplant or Maryland transplants are like, I like it here more.
Everything just seems to just make sense. Actually, let me ask you a question that I had no idea. This really doesn't have anything to do with anything else. What is the difference between a commonwealth and a state?
I'll give you
You promised me we could talk about anything. I can pull that up on Instagram. You told me we could talk about anything. So that means that includes what's a commonwealth, and you live in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Go.
My general thing is that Commonwealth is kind of like a small government in and of itself, and they have way more rules. Like we've got things that don't make sense in other states. Like we've got the ABC store, as we call it. Northerners will call it the package store or what have you. Yeah. So an ABC store is where you will buy your liquor. If you're a drinker. I haven't drank in a while. But it's a whole separate store. You don't get it from the supermarket or Costco or what have you. There's a whole nother store you got to go to with a whole bunch of different regulations, which
I was just curious.
Yeah. To me, it's just a way more rules than you need.
It's a way to have more rules. Got it. Yeah. Okay. So Ashley's apparently, I'm assuming that means she's a fan of the intro music. But if not,
thank you. That is Chat GPT generated. I thought it was pretty cool.
All right. And let's see here. And Carlos said, "That's awesome, Shawn. The reason why you started your channel is awesome." He says, "Get strong."
That's the goal, man.
It said, "Started during COVID. Now we're here." That's funny. And I told you Kevin was watching. He said, "What's up?"
Hey, man. Shout out to the Japan crew.
That's right. Kevin wants to know which 3 pieces of equipment you were taking with you in the event of an alien invasion. All right.
Okay. Well, being
I have a question. Where are you going? If it's an alien invasion, where are we going? Are you? Because I need clarification. Are you asking me? Or are you asking him? What's he taking with him if he's going on the ship? Because if they're kidnapping you, I don't know if you got choices.
Yeah, there's a lot of clarifying statements.
Or is it like, all right, you're about to go in hiding to mount your counterattack like Falling Skies? I need to know what else we're talking about here. But go ahead, you can answer that.
Is it World of Worlds? What are we talking?
Yeah, what's going on? Do I just need? In that case, I just need to sneeze on them.
Exactly.
They got a fragile ecosystem.
I got 2 small mini nukes running around that could do that.
Yeah. Oh man, can you imagine if a kid sneezed on an alien and their
immune system wasn't ready for it? It'd be a cataclysm for them.
That's a pandemic. Yeah, they could. All you got to do is send like a preschool over there, and we take over Mars in like 30 minutes.
My 6-year-old just got over flu B, so he would be a one-man wrecking crew.
You slaughter an entire planet.
He'd be the Arnold Schwarzenegger of.
They better not come over here acting crazy. They're not ready for our kids. Anyway, go ahead and answer the question.
Let's see. Depending on the type of aliens, I'm a big horror fan, so there are multiple archetypes of aliens. Generally, I just got in a deadlift bar, so I do want to create some distance.
I was wondering what you just looked at when you said there's multiple different kinds of aliens, and you looked over there like there's one over there. I was like, what is he looking at?
I'm looking, and I'm like,
I was like, you got a sample alien over there? What's that?
Yeah, the deadlift bar would be good because I have a lot more length. One of the I've got a couple of different camber bars, so I kind of use that as a shield if I really needed to.
Okay.
Oh man, I don't know what the next one be. Probably be like a cable attachment maybe, and I could swing it like a mace maybe.
Okay. Okay.
So,
You
create
do like
distance is what I
a
want to do.
bola, like
Yeah,
the
like a
thing they use in
bola,
Argentina.
kusarigami, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, Kevin.
Yeah.
I love that question because it's complete. Everybody else is here. Want to talk about gym equipment. Kevin wants to know about alien invasions. I'm here for it though.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's I want to ask you one more thing about the weight, about your channel and all that, because you experienced dramatic weight loss in the past. Along with you experienced a rebound of gaining the weight back, right? You've dropped 100 pounds in the past and you've gained the weight back.
Mhm.
And you started your channel, say, hey, look, I'm trying to get healthier. And you've got shirtless pics and everything, right? How much courage did it take to post images of yourself online? Because the trolls don't care. They're coming.
No.
They're
No,
not
they'll
gonna
roast
say.
you.
They're not gonna look for context. They're just gonna just roast.
Yeah,
Whatever.
they're gonna
Right?
roast you on a whim.
Hell yeah.
You know.
So what? How much courage did it? Or do you just not care at all?
The older I've gotten, the more I haven't cared. Even even after like people have lost a lot of weight, especially for myself, I've talked about it briefly in a video. Like I still see that mass that I was. Full disclosure, if you guys haven't seen the video, I started at 285 pounds, probably when I was about 20. Dropped down to 185 pounds around like 22-ish. And then ever since then, life happened, stacked back up, and then now I've kind of like floated back down to 230, and I can maintain 230 pretty easily.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a fair amount of courage for me to do that. Like I said, I still see that mass of the 285-pound kid I was. So even after losing that weight, I still see like the bulbousness. Mind you, my YouTube videos have helped me, have shown me that athletically I've progressed. I've had lifting PRs. Oh God, what is it called? Scale doesn't move, but I still see non-scale
Non-scale
PRs.
victories.
Which is actually last night, full disclosure, I had to do I wanted to take my niece to a daddy-daughter dance.
Yes.
It's a big long story in that. But
yeah, I was at a Valentine's dance with my daughter as well.
I haven't in a while. And
Oh,
that
nice.
was a big one. That was a big one for me yesterday. And it's like, yeah, this, the weight's moving where I want it to move. And I'm really happy about that.
So this is the video where she says you were talking about how you change your life through health and fitness. So I encourage everybody to check that out.
Having trouble hearing.
Let's see here. Can you not hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Is it my end? Oh.
I don't know. Can you hear me if that's going?
Something happened. I still can't hear.
All right. Let's see. Test. All right. A second. Let's see. Test. All right. So they're saying, the chat is saying that they can hear me. Let's see here.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I still can't hear you.
Okay. So go back out and come back.
Can't.
Go out and come back.
Jump out, jump back in.
There you
go.
We're almost at smoke signals. All right. So actually this is a good time for me to do this because I'm going to share this video here. So this is the video that I said that was on Shawn's channel that I watched, and I encourage you guys to check out because it'll give you like a good introduction to him. It'll give you a good introduction to him, and then while you guys are there, go ahead and hit subscribe. So I just posted that in the chat, and the link, if you're watching on replay, the link is obviously going to be in the video description, so you guys can check Shawn's channel out. But I encourage you guys to check out that video. It's called "How I Changed My Life Through Health and Fitness," and it just kind of gives you a nice overview of the channel, lets you know what he's trying to accomplish, and yeah, it's definitely worth watching.
Definitely not the CTR title. I'm
No, no,
still
no,
learning.
it's okay. I mean, I think so. I'll tell you this though, that watching that video was we were getting the questions and stuff together after I went to the daddy daughter dance with my daughter last night, and I was looking at it, and it helped me tweak some of the questions I had for you, because okay, so I had the questions,
Okay.
but I didn't want to just send them to you. And I was watching that video. I like to research people, so I said, let me watch this one more video, right?
Mhm.
And because the other videos I watched have been like equipment reviews. I
Yeah.
said, well, let me watch this one. So I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad I watched it because it tweaked some of the questions I had for you, right?
Oh, sweet.
And but my wife, Naomi, was right, like I'm pointing like you can see her, but she was standing like right next to me, and she said, oh, and she like leaned in, and so we were both actually, that was actually the most interesting video to us on your channel, because it let us know your why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And it let us know some background. So I think it did the job, and so
I'm happy
yeah.
to hear that, man. Like this, like my whole health journey, like I don't have great genetics on either side. So I'm racing against that. My
Yeah.
dad unfortunately had a heart attack when he was 40.
Oh wow.
He's still alive, completely
Good.
sober, and he's in his 60s.
Okay.
So heart health is big for me. So
Okay.
I take a lot of stuff to keep that from going. And I've got 2 kids, man. I want to see them have grandkids. I want to see grandkids. So
Yep.
doing anything I can to keep the health in the green.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
definitely it. I mean, like once we had our grandkids, our first grandchild, that kind of like brought it home, because I was always like I knew I was gonna, I come from a long-lived family, but what people don't think about is you genetically live a long time, but what's your quality of life? Because I
Mm-hmm.
have some of them have passed away now, but I remember in my 30s that I had relatives who I had never seen walk
Oof. Yep.
because they've been in a chair or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why would I want that's 30 years of me knowing this person, and they have never been out of the, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
because of health. I mean, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you could have an accident or something like that, but I'm just saying, like, that's not living, that's not enjoying life. And so
No. No.
I said,
Absolutely
you know
not.
what? So to me, even if you know you're gonna live, or you but are probably gonna live a long time, it's still important to train and be healthy, because I want to,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, I want to enjoy my time with my grandkids. I like being able to get on the
Absolutely.
floor with them and play with them and whatnot, as opposed to like, kind of having to be like, oh, well, grandpa can't do anything with you because he's,
Yeah.
don't jump on grandpa, you'll
Yeah.
hurt him.
Don't break his hip.
I'm like, it's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. Like, nah,
I
man.
want strong hips.
Yeah. Um, and Jared said, you're 6'4". He said, Shawn's 6'4". So all of us vertically challenged people will always look up to him. He said, I can tell he's on his way to be an absolute unit, though. The dedication is there. Hey, you got an endorsement from Jared. That means a lot.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. It's funny because that plays a lot into my equipment reviews. Like people
Okay.
like I have a lat tower. I have to like lean back just slightly to get a full stretch. I did my power tech review. I have to move my feet just slightly up so I can get a full range of motion. So
Okay.
it's a gift and a curse, especially when I go to work. It's
Yeah.
it's not the greatest thing sometimes.
So, that's actually interesting to me, because I remember I had a complaint. So I went several years with a power rack that was fairly tall. It was from
Mhm.
it came out of a commercial gym. Well, first one came out of a commercial gym. The next one came out of out of a school, right?
Oh, nice.
His old Dynabody rack. I had that for the longest amount of time. And then it's funny, but people were flaming me. So this should be interesting to you because you do
All right.
YouTube content, right? So people were flaming me because I was saying that brands, like some of the budget brands, were not good. And they all said, well, have you tried them? And I said, no, but I can tell, I can
Okay.
read specs. I
Mhm.
can read specs. I know what's not good, right? No,
Yeah.
how can you say it's not a good brand if you've never tried it?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So then I went on about a 2-year journey of instead of turning down people or brands when they would say, hey, we want to send out a rack to you or whatever, I said,
Yeah.
okay, sure, right? So I started reviewing these budget brands, and I wouldn't
Mhm.
keep them because they were what I thought they would be, right?
Yeah.
And so then I started getting knocked. People started knocking me because they're like, you know, you even if I said a brand like like, oh, it might be good if you're just starting out or whatever, right? They're like, how can you say that? You don't even keep it. You know what I mean? You just get rid of it. I'm like, well, okay. I'm like,
Can't please them
well,
all.
I'm like, look, man, the fact is that I'm looking for something that I feel safe using and that's good
Mhm.
and that'll work for everything I'm trying to do. And
Yeah.
one of the major things that I couldn't stand with them is they were all like about 84 inches tall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how am I supposed to do pull-ups on this thing? I mean, yeah, I could bend my legs, but I'm just saying and remembering I used to have a down and body rack where I didn't have to go through all this. I could just do my pull-ups like a normal person. This is insane. So as someone who's, and I'm 5'10", right?
Yeah.
As someone who's even taller than that, how is it, or have you, I don't even know if you've looked at any budget racks, but how is it for you when you go to like the home gym rack and it's
Mhm.
like eye level to you and you're like, come on, man, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, it kind of it doesn't rub me the wrong way. They made it for a reason, and I kind of get it. But at the same time, again, like you were saying, I have to. I'm using it for my training.
Yeah.
So obviously, like even this rack behind me, one because of my ceilings, I turn my pull-up bar upside down
Okay.
because I can't get a full range of motion when I
What do you mean
want
you
to do
turn it
pull-ups.
upside down?
So I have one of the multi-grip pull-up bars, and instead of it going up,
Can you tilt the camera so we can see it?
yeah,
Oh, that's perfect.
yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So that way, I mean, I can bend my knees at least
Sure.
and get a full retraction of my back
Right.
and all my back situation. And if I do it the other way, I can't do that
Right.
because I'll put a hole in the drywall above me before that happens.
Nice.
So I turn it upside down. And
So you're in a basement?
I'm in a garage.
You're in a garage. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I just bend my knees and works for me, man.
Now
So
I got so many questions about because okay, when you said you're in Virginia, I immediately thought that your gym was in the garage. I was in the basement because most of the people I know up there, if they have a home gym, it's in like a basement, just because of climate control.
mhm.
Um, and all the basements have these low ceilings. So when you said low ceiling, I said, oh, okay, that's the problem. I've never actually seen. I thought that garages, which shows my ignorance. I just assumed that garages all had higher ceilings as a general rule because our ceiling down here in our garage is, and this is with stall mats in, is
Mhm.
100 inches from the top of the stall mats to the rafters. So we've
Yeah.
got a 90-inch power rack.
Yeah,
You're saying that your ceiling is low in your garage.
well, the giant one behind me, I mean, my ceilings are fairly tall. I think this is
Of course, you're
93 inches
6'4",
to the
so
top of the upright.
okay.
And there's a couple more inches of space. So yeah, probably about 100 inches, give or take.
But you're
Um,
6'4", so still.
yeah, everything's low to me.
I got you.
It
Okay,
doesn't
I
matter.
got you. That makes sense. All right. No, so the reason why I said when you said that you turned your pull-up bar handle upside down, that's actually, you may already know this. So the first Mr. Olympia was Larry Scott.
Mhm.
He had naturally narrow shoulders, and so
Yep.
he went to Vince Gironda, and he came up with some ways to use leverage. This is for everybody watching. You came up with ways to biomechanically get the most out of every exercise, keeping in
Mhm.
mind that back then they didn't have the cables that we have, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that they did that I wish all pull-up bars still did is they had the pull-up bars so that the handle had your pinky higher than your thumb
Yep.
on purpose. And so when I saw you did that, I said, heck, I wish all pull-up bars were like that because to me that's perfect because you definitely get full range of motion. I actually did that with I want to say it's like the Eon Fit Omni rack when I had it. And
Mhm.
I think that's the only thing I said was good about it. I said, You know what's good about this rack though is I can turn the pull-up bar upside down.
Mhm.
Everything else I hate, but yeah, I can turn the pull-up bars upside down, and so I
Yeah.
get full range of motion. So yeah, that's interesting you said that. Let's see here. Ashley said, "Thanks for sharing your story, Shawn. That's amazing. Your fitness journey. Proud of you, friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're going to be in Home Gym Con?
I certainly am.
Good, because Carp just said you are, so you have no choice now. So
Yeah,
you can be
yeah,
there at Home Gym Con. All right, there you go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Carp is I'm an FOC.
Hey, there you go. FOC
Talking
for
about
life.
talking about like the content creation side of this. Carp has been a huge source of not just information but just everything getting into the content world. So I owe him a lot. I've asked him a scroll of questions when it comes to this, and I still do.
So do I. Don't feel
Yeah.
bad. And
Okay.
actually, I'll say this: like the reason why I started saying FOC is because I noticed how many people were connected to Carp, and so I just started out.
Yeah.
And so one day I just said, "Man, it's like it's almost as if were like in a motorcycle club, the FOC,
Yeah.
right? And FO, and then it just kind of started from there." But I will say that Carp is one of the most supportive people because you'll see him if you like. I've seen him say positive things about my channel on other people's channels where he didn't know I was going to watch.
Yeah, naturally.
Right. And he does the same thing with other people as well. Like he's always like we used to say, he's always big up in people, and he's always encouraging people. So yeah, that FOC for life, man. Friends of Carp.
Yeah, he's like the influencer's favorite influencer.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the next shirt. Carp, your influencer's favorite influencer. Your favorite influencer's favorite influencer.
Yeah, you've got like comedian's favorite comedian. Yeah.
Carp is your favorite influencer's favorite influencer. Heck yeah. Kevin said, "I'm proud of you, man. I just subbed. Now I'm super invested in your whole journey." He said, "I lost about 45 pounds before, so 100 pounds is a hell of a transformation. Now I want to know more about your biggest takeaways." So that's actually pretty good. So yeah, go ahead. What are some of your biggest takeaways from your journey, your fitness journey? Like, let's go with best practices too. Things that have helped you.
So far, best practices. I wish I knew this information when I lost that 100 pounds. Is keep your protein high. Like right now, mine's generally sitting around like 200 or so. And I might bump. I'm trying to get down. Body fat's mostly the metric I'm trying to go after. That, like visceral fat. Excuse me. So keeping your protein high will help you, one, keep you more full. It's going to help your workouts, and also keep your carbs high. Like if you want to work out hard and you want muscle growth, you want that energy in the gym, and the carbs are going to do that. And that's and you need fats. Like you can't cut out.
So you like 30-30-30?
For the most part, there's like a macro calculation. I think it's like the Harris Benedict formula.
Okay.
You can Google it. I found it on Instagram from an influencer, which is nice.
Okay.
But I plugged that into AI. Actually, said, hey, these are the metrics that my height, age, activity level. Use this formula. Give me a macro breakdown generally of what I want to do. I want to lose, a pound a week. If I want to be, modest, I'm not trying to do I'm not trying to cut weight before a fight. So definitely you need all of those. Yeah. Yep. I'm on 10 grams of creatine right now. Drink a lot of water with creatine, man. Otherwise that's gonna tear your stomach up.
It's also another thing about creatine. Well, it seems like ever since Bill Phillips and what's his name from Metrics, Scott Connolly, I think, when they first started popularizing creatine, it's like we started relearning all these facts.
Mhm.
I remember Bill Phillips was the first one to point out that creatine has been studied for like 100 years.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
one of the things that I really like, especially as I get older, is the fact that it helps with brain function.
Yeah.
Preserve
Yeah.
brain function. It's like there's so much that's I would say is something that there's hidden benefits. You know, you can
Mhm.
overdo it like anything, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
too much water is bad for you. That's how you drown. But I'm just saying, that there's it's like it seems like we're constantly finding out new things. And I think it's kind of irrelevant. Like people say, oh, well, yeah, but once you get your body saturated with it, it doesn't do anything for you. Yeah, that's the point. Like get it to where
Yeah.
it's saturated and keep it there. It's like,
Yeah.
for example, does your car run better on a full tank of gas or when it's on E?
Mhm.
All right. So just
Absolutely.
keep the tank full, right? Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Nobody argues about that. Anyway, Ashley wants to know if anyone knows the fourth macro. I don't know if we can do the question of the day.
Fourth macro. Probably the next important one. I would probably. There's a couple floating around. Like I try and keep I track my fiber.
Okay.
Staying. Make sure I'm eating some type of green or some type of fiber.
She said
Sodium is
today's
also
trivia.
very important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sodium
is highly underrated.
Yes.
Because we went through such a period of time where people were being prescribed drugs for blood pressure.
Yeah.
And then it's I know it's not that, Carp.
What's Carp saying?
He said alcohol.
Oh.
No, it's not that.
In my 20s, I would say yes, but not anymore.
Okay. Well, actually, so he says alcohol, sugar. All right. Really? So Carp is right. Look at that. That's what I get for doubting him. He said alcohol. Ashley says, dang it. Here. Fats, carbs, protein, and alcohol. Okay. So
all right.
When he
I'm
said
look that
alcohol,
up today.
in my defense, I wasn't thinking that that's what he meant. When he said alcohol, I was thinking he meant, obviously like beer.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep in mind, I was in the Marine Corps, right? And they said, and there are people I know who said beer is a food group. So, okay, I got you now.
Yeah,
I got you. But it's interesting seeing all the answers. People like water. Let's see.
Water, super important.
Somebody else said something. Jared says sodium.
Okay, yeah.
And
what is my answer?
Somebody else said something else here. And Carp said he even knows the gram. Says 7 calories per gram. There you go. Okay. Carp is correct. All right.
That's it. I learn something new every day, man.
Macro means it has a high calorie content. Yeah. So what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, about the sodium. So it's like I still remember when Naomi was talking about, for health reasons she wanted to lose weight. We went to the doctor appointment. I went with her. And as a general rule, so this may have been why I didn't get invited to the other doctor's appointments, but the doctor was like getting ready to prescribe her the stuff. And he said, I want you to do all this. And he had like this list of medicines, right?
Oh no.
And I was frustrated because, for a while she was, and I understand some of it is my fault because she was resistant to what I was telling her. And even though at the time I was in really good shape, I was lean, right? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this is what you need to do or whatever. And I'm like, look, I used to be a personal trainer. Like I had my CSCS. You should just listen to me, right? But
nope.
The thing is, so we go there and the doctor says all this stuff. And I said, okay, look, how about this? What if instead of her taking all these medications, she increased her potassium intake and exercised, and reduced her sodium a little bit, right? And the doctor looked at me and he said, well, yeah, that will work better, but I can never get people to do that. So I always just prescribe the medicine. In my head, I thought I was going to hurt my neck. I looked at her so fast. I said, see, I told you I was right. And that was the last doctor's appointment I got to go to. But anyway.
Yeah, I told you so from husbands to wives.
It never works out. Don't do it, kids. Don't do it.
It's the chef's kiss.
but then when as she started, but she then actually brought it back up to me. She's like, as she started to like her fat loss journey and she started to get in better shape, she noticed that it's pretty much the more she worked out, the less she needed to take her medication. But the thing is, although they teach you that in school about the sodium potassium pump, you never connect it with actual like getting in shape because that's always separated, right? And I was like, I literally they teach it in school. She's like, I ain't trying to hear that. So,
Well,
and that's what most people say too.
Yeah, it's funny because as many like equipment companies I follow, exercise influencers, bodybuilders, powerlifters, what have you, I follow a lot of doctors. I forget his first name, but the guy who's BioLane or Lane Norton.
Oh, Lane
that's his
Norton.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lane Norton.
follow him religiously. He has a lot of great information.
He's a home gym owner.
Yeah, he is.
Real
Andrew
strong dude.
Huberman.
Okay.
God, there's a few others out there, but they're just a wealth of information, and they're also coming out with new information about health in general.
Stan Efferding's another good one to follow.
Yes, follow him.
Yeah.
Follow him a lot. God, there's a lot of like Dorian Yates.
I'm laughing at Kevin when he's talking about his adventures with trying to train his wife. Kevin, it's dangerous ground, Kevin.
Yeah, it is. Like my wife goes to Planet Fitness, and I'm like, babe, I have a very well equipped home gym. You can do anything you want here. She's like, no, I'll go to Planet Fitness. I'm like,
so you know what? I'll say, and we're all over the place, which is perfect. But I think so Carp says, pro tip, don't train your wife. Kevin said, edit, don't train your wife like how you train your bro. Because he said, apparently I need to say good job every set and not give a cue to better the form. So I will say that now that Naomi has intrinsic motivation, she doesn't need me to motivate her.
That's nice.
It's been a lot easier now. Being in the gym with her is like just hanging out. And we actually both enjoy it, which means she comes back in there. But also, when we put money into the actual environment of the gym, like the walls and all that. Because me personally, I don't mind if my garage gym, like it's just the walls are bare. There's nothing. I don't care about any of that, right?
Yeah, you like that Rocky 3 gym. You like
I don't care about that because I'm like, I ain't lifting the stuff on the walls. But once it became aesthetically pleasing, and once we started to get stuff, like she took an active role in purchasing the equipment and like selecting the equipment we're gonna get, even the stuff that we agree to do to take in for reviews. Once she started to take more of an active role in that,
that's cool.
It started to feel like her gym.
That's nice.
Or it started to feel like our gym as opposed to my gym that she visited.
Yeah,
and that was part of the reason why she didn't want to come in there. She's like, whatever. She's and because she got a membership at golly, I forgot what it's one of those global gyms. And I was like, why are you same thing? I was like, why are you going there? We've got a gym at that. She's like, I don't like first. She's like, I don't like it in there. It doesn't that's your gym. Something as simple as like she doesn't like, you guys have heard this, she doesn't like bars with knurling, with like aggressive knurling.
Fair enough. Right? That can be mediated. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that the bars that I think have medium knurling, she thinks is aggressive.
Yep.
So that's an issue. So yeah. So anyway, I just say that that's one of those things that has helped me. It's like, and now I don't have to say any of the other stuff because it just happens, organically. I'm just to be supportive and encourage.
That's not a bad idea at all.
So we're getting more doctor recommendations. Andy Galpin, Galpin.
Yep, follow him.
All right. And Scott Stevenson and Brad Schoenfeld. Is it Schoenfeld? That's another thing. I've heard that name. I've never heard it pronounced. Yeah, those are all solid recommendations. So you've done a few things. You did a few reviews now, including you did the one for Belmere Fitness, I think, with the camera bar that you sent me. Tell me, what's your? I like to ask content creators this, especially when they're first starting out, And then I like to ask them after a few years of doing it to see if the criteria has changed.
All right, so we'll do part 2.
What are your what are your criteria for working with a brand?
My biggest criteria, because of my occupation, for those who don't know, I'm a maritime welder at a shipyard in the area. I like craftsmanship. I like handmade stuff. It's fascinating to me. I like the fabrication. I like the welding. I like the time, the thought that they put into it. Like the Belmere Fitness Bar, they had to figure out the angles, they had to figure out the knurling, they had to figure out the material, the welding wire they have to use, everything that goes into it. And that's a big undertaking. I've seen stuff get made from scratch, and it is weeks, months to figure out what the formula is.
Right.
And from working with this bar, the formula it's almost there. I had a few critiques in that video, just like minor things here and there, but other than that, they put some time and thought into it, and I can tell it's a fun bar to use, man. Right now it's my daily driver when it comes to bench.
Okay.
Just because that's my weakest lift. So it's definitely been a really, really good training implement.
So one question I'm gonna have is like the thing where they didn't have flanges built into the I guess sleeves. It's technically not sleeves, but the sleeves. So
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
had to put the extra set of collars on there to stop it. That would have been something that would have been like, all right, man, that's a deal breaker, right? But you said that you reached out to them, and
Yeah.
I believe you said that they changed it. So the current versions of the bar, if somebody were to order that bar today, it would come with the flanges, right? Built-in
Yeah.
flanges, so they wouldn't have to do that little hack that you're showing right there on screen, right?
Yeah. They're also a new company.
Yeah.
When shout out to Home Gym Harry, I found the company organically. He
Okay.
brought it up to me. He's like, "Hey man, how do you feel about this bar?" I'm like, "It's a cool looking bar." So literally starting from, I can't remember what their day job is, but this is their side job, and they're, like I said, brand new company, man.
Right.
So if they didn't have the information as far as what's already out there, like the Rep Fitness camera bar, the Titan camera bar, what have you, plug in whatever company, giving them that information, like, hey, if this is the product you're going to come out with, this is what you probably should do.
Okay.
I do need to get back in touch with them as far as, I'm not sure if they were trying to innovate something along those lines. Like they had those like clamp-on flanges, or those flanges with the screws, and they were cool, kind of novel in my opinion, because one, that's gonna really put a dent literally on your sleeves. So having the more permanent welded sleeves on there, or flanges, is bar none the best idea as far as the sleeves go.
Let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
Do they lift?
They do lift. They do lift.
Because that's the kind of thing that I would have thought would come up when they use the bar.
Now, they originally started as a cable attachment. And that's if you go to
So that bar started as a cable attachment.
Yes.
I got you. Okay.
Yep. So when Home Gym Harry and I found them, they started putting sleeves on. And then that's when we're like, hey man, you should do this. This would be a cool, not just a cable attachment, but you could bench with it. That'd be great.
Okay.
But if you go to like Belmere Fitness's page, if you go back to like the beginning of the timeline, he's bringing it to a Globo gym and using it as a cable attachment. So
that makes
yeah.
sense. Okay, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was like, how could you? My immediate assumption was, okay, there's no way they lift, because you would notice immediately, oh, this is missing something that I'm familiar with having on bars.
Yeah.
But it also can be a case of being too close to a product. which is one
Yeah.
reason why I think brands need to have. I mean, they're a small company, but I'm talking about in general. Even with the
Yeah.
bigger brands, think about, and you'll see more and more of this the more you do, where you just like sometimes something shows up at your house, you're like, how could you not have spotted this
Yeah.
before you allowed it to leave your property?
Yeah.
Like, why would you ever send something? And I literally think like this. I'm like, why would you ever allow something to leave your property and go put in the hands of someone who's going to make a video and talk about it
Mhm.
if it's not as close to perfect as possible?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Kevin is headed to bed, but he has a question. One more question for you.
Go
He
for it.
said, you follow evidence-based doctors. What's your supplement stack look like?
Right now, I take D3, K2, boron. So I've heard some pretty good evidence about boron as far as helping raise testosterone. That's what I'm trying to do right now is get my T levels up. I'm getting older. I'm getting close to 40, so T levels are already starting to drop. So I'm trying to mitigate that as much as possible. There is magnesium, glycinate. I think I'm taking.
Okay.
There are 100 different types of magnesium you can take. God, there's
Do you
one
take a
more.
multi, or do you like Animal Pack or something? Free plug for Animal
Individual,
Pack, I guess. Um,
just like NutriCost stuff off the Amazon.
okay.
Creatine, 10 grams a day.
Okay.
Protein powder. I am starting to research a lot more into peptides,
Okay.
and which is it's a rabbit hole. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, like my wife right now is taking semaglutide, or tirzepatide, one of the two. But more evidence-based doctors talking about like Dr. Mike Isertel,
Mhm.
talking about retatrutide and all the compounding pharmacies and such. I did recently get on testosterone just because I was starting to see the signs, and I went to a doctor. By the way, guys, if you feel like you're lethargic,
Mhm.
and what have you, go get your testosterone tested, man. That's a big engine for us, and
Right.
even women,
Yeah.
can benefit a lot from testosterone. Go get yourself checked. I just started it, and it's making waves. I feel absolutely great.
We actually had a
Um,
friend who kept on getting sick, and they couldn't figure out why. At
wow.
the time, he was like maybe 34,
Mm-hmm.
and they tested his testosterone as a last, like, okay, we've tried everything else,
Yeah.
and it turned out he had low testosterone. And I'm talking about like he would like he was like, they'd have to like pull over to the side of the road. He was driving on the road. He'd have like, and his wife would have to pull over because he was like getting sick, and they were
Oh,
like concerned, like, this is bad. They got him on testosterone, fixed everything.
yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
because they said there's
Super
no
important.
way that low T is your problem because you're like 34 years old.
Yeah.
And it turned out that in his case, it actually was. So I'm 100%, you know, while I haven't done it, I don't have any major objection to people doing it because I'm like, I think testosterone gets a bad rap.
It does. Absolutely.
Without getting off on a rabbit hole, all I can say is that women are encouraged to take estrogen, you know, to make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
And men are looked at negatively if we take testosterone for any reason.
A double-edged sword.
So it is what it is. Um, Tell me, I kind of have an idea based upon this conversation, but what kind of content do you enjoy watching on YouTube if you're like just watching for fun?
If I'm just watching for fun, I do a lot of fun. I study the craft of equipment reviews, so I love watching equipment reviews. All of like the big
Okay.
names, insert here. I've probably watched them. The
All right.
smaller names, just because at 100, this is kind of like my opinion. At 100 subs right now,
Yeah.
I get a little bit of imposter syndrome. I feel like I'm not a peer, but I still like to take notes from
All
other
right.
creators. As far as like stuff for me, I love watching horror movie reviews. I'm
Okay.
a big and just a big movie fan in general. So movies that are coming out, opinions on
Well,
movies.
you definitely need to subscribe to Carlos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's so he reviews. He's done reviews for our channel on equipment, but he does reviews on his channel of movies. He goes to at least he goes to the movies every week
Yeah.
because he gets he's got a thing with the movie theaters and whatnot. So yeah, you'll enjoy it. And if you like video games, he streams games, and his daughter is on here, and so she's saying hi. Hey Trent, said my dad made me stay up and say hello. Hey, I'll take views any way I can.
Hey man, me too.
But yeah, so that's definitely okay.
Yeah, music, movies. I like all different types of music. I'm a big like one of the local celebrities here. I don't know if you ever heard of him, Victor Wooten. Probably one of the most preeminent jazz bassists ever.
Okay.
I'd probably put him up as like one of the best modern bassists ever. Highly recommend looking him up. I can't remember the band he was in, but very, very fun music, man.
Okay.
And then I'm a big rock, metal, everything, R&B, 90s R&B.
That's quite the eclectic mix.
Thank you. Everything, man. I played band in high school, so it kind of just like the band kid still lives.
So then that's the second part of the question that I sent you. I take inspiration from, because a lot of the stuff that I want to do in the home gym space isn't being done in the home gym space, which is why I'm attracted to doing it. I take inspiration from a lot of content that I watch that's non-home gym related. So NFL content, movie reviews, all kinds of different things. I take inspiration from that. Do you try to pattern the way you make your videos after what you enjoy personally watching? Or do you just say, okay, well, I'm going to let whatever let's say it's a product review, I'm going to let the product kind of shape and dictate the way the video goes?
As far as that goes, I don't think I really have like a style that I mold after anything I watch on YouTube. A lot of like my more recent reviews, I try to model after movies. The Belmere Fitness video I did, the intro, because their company initials is BMF, so plug in whatever you want there. But I remember the scene in Pulp Fiction where Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta are at gunpoint in the restaurant, and they ask, "Hey, just give me my wallet." And he said, "Well, which one's your wallet?" And he says, "The one that says BMF." So I'm like, "Oh, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. I think I can do something like that." So that's where, as far as I take inspiration from when I do my reviews, at least as far as like my intro goes, that the intro is mostly for me. It's a lot of fun to do. I have a bunch of stuff coming down the pipeline that are going to be really fun as far as intros and products goes. And then after that, it's fully just let the product speak for itself.
Do you write, do you do like a script, or do you just kind of go off the cuff?
I tried doing a script. I actually have a video dropping today. It's not really a part 2 to my weight loss, but it's just like an update. But I tried doing like a teleprompter script, and it just didn't sound like me. So generally what I'll do is I'll put a whiteboard back behind the camera that has all my talking points. I feel like I'm better at talking off the cuff than straight off a script. So that's what I tend to do, and so far it's working. So if it's not broke, I'm not going to fix it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I mentioned brand deals, and at this point, do you have kind of like okay, these are my non-negotiables, and if a brand wants me to do this, I'm just gonna walk away no matter how much money they're offering me. Well, so what are your deal breakers?
As far as like a deal breaker for a review company or for to review a product from a company, it's hard to tell right now because I'm kind of early in the game. Um, I've as far as companies I've worked with, RitFit, big fan. There's the company Loafed Fitness. They just sent me a deadlift bar to take a look at, and I yeah, I really haven't ran into that. So I really can't answer that truthfully as far as what a non-negotiable would be. Um, if uh, the company who shall not be named, Vulcan, um, if they came up to me and say, hey, can we do this review? I will have some questions and about what's going on. If they've wronged someone, you can get to be anyone as far as like, got this product, it wasn't great, a lot of things wrong with it, and they didn't care. If they don't care about their product, I'll take that back. If they don't care about their product, that's probably a non-negotiable.
Mm.
No, I'm not gonna. If you're not gonna take pride in your work, then I'm not gonna take pride in reviewing it. Flat out.
So that actually reminds me of a uh I think it may have been Eon Fit Omni, um, where no, it was not. Eon Fit Omni was fine. It was a company called Evol Pow. And I think they're still making stuff now, but they had the absolute worst welds I've ever seen in my life. And I don't weld, and I could still look at it and say, "Well, that's garbage," right? And um, they tried their best to get me to the quote from the email thread was, "There's nothing you found that you can say positive about our products," and my answer was, "I'm sure there's something that I could say that's nice, but it's overshadowed by the fact that I don't think your product is safe." So I'm not going to spend time saying, "Hey, I love the fact that it's black," when I think that yeah, but you could potentially die if you trust your life to this, right? And so, the thing that's always helped me though is that we require a contract whenever we work with anybody. I don't trust anybody like that. Um, to put in perspective, my wife and I have a contract, right? Wedding vows, right? Okay, so if I got a contract with my wife, all right, I got a contract. I'm having a contract with with you know with whatever company I just met that loves my YouTube channel.
Absolutely,
Uh,
it's a good
uh,
point.
yeah, it's like oh, they reach out to you like we love your channel, and first of all, it starts out with hey, but they don't know your name because they just started, you just popped up on the feed. Like, hey, so we've loved your channel and all the stuff you did. It is great. All right, yeah, wonderful. All right, we want to send this to you and blah, blah, blah. All right, look, dude, I don't know you at all. I don't have any idea who you are. All right, and so yeah, the thing is, we will not work for anybody unless there is a clearly stated contract with specific, I'll do this and you do this, and if I do this and you do this, then we do this and we agree on this. This is how soon you have to pay me after I turn the video in. This is whether you get to see the video or not before I publish it. And if you do see the video, this is whether you get to ask for revisions when after you've watched it. All that stuff is listed because I'm like, this is a relationship where even if it may be a short-lived one, it's still a relationship, and it's not fair, in my opinion, to expect someone in a relationship to act the way you want them to if you never told them how you want them to act. So that's just my 2 cents about any brand or anything like that. Um, Now you
That's
got
a
people
real
who are
good point.
well, and I think that too many we take too much stuff on faith, and I'm like,
Yeah,
you
I
don't
would.
really know these people.
Yeah, and especially if a channel is going to reach out to you and they say hey and not know your name, you haven't done your research
Yeah,
into the creator.
yeah,
Like, if you're like, "Hey, John," okay, I'm listening, or "Hey,
yeah,
Mr. Greaves,"
yeah,
but if they're gonna be like, "Hey, like your channel," all they did was find someone with a lot of subscribers. That's all
yeah.
they did.
And um, let's see here. So Jared says your videos are funny,
Thank you.
and
That's
and,
I try really hard to make it funny.
and Carp said the cable attachment intervention intro was hilarious.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so as we wrap this up, you already kind of mentioned what you have coming up, but go ahead and plug your channel one more time. Let everybody know how they can connect with you, including since we're on LinkedIn, how people could, brands can connect with you if they want to, do a deal with you.
Probably the best way, as far as right now, if brands would like to work with me, send me a DM on Instagram. That's primarily where I find and work with companies. If you want to shoot me an email, that's Shawn.Burnett1988 @gmail.com. As far as my socials go, Colonial Barbell Club, everything: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Just started on TikTok. Find me, shoot me a direct message if you want to just chat. Let me know, man. I am always open to chat, no matter what.
All right, and let's go ahead and see if I can't pull this up here. I'll put these on screen so people can see it, and I'm also going to put all your contact information in the description for the video, so that way everybody can
Absolutely,
check
man.
it out. Man, thank you so much for being on here. You're about to head to work, I think, and so I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me a little bit. And I'll say this: I appreciate you being a faithful viewer of the show. I know I don't say it enough. Even if I said it every day, it wouldn't be enough, because you guys don't know how much the fact that you watch that, not just watch, but I come on here at 4 a.m. to finish up my show prep, and I see you guys already putting comments like you can't wait for the show to start. That sort of thing is super encouraging to me. It fuels my fire, and it doesn't just fuel my fire and my enthusiasm for that day specifically, but I remember it on the weekend and on the days when, like this past week was hectic, or when stuff isn't quite going right with whatever, right? I remember all those things, and it gives me the fuel for the fire. I see the comments you guys put on the videos, and all of that fuels our fire and makes me and Naomi want to work even harder, because we want to deserve that level of support that you guys give us. So thank you for coming on here. Thank you for sharing your time. Thank you for being transparent. And you definitely got an open invite to come back on, man. 100%.
Happy to hear, man. I love this home gym community. It's the best. It's so supportive. And I'm a fan. Yes, I'm there right early in the morning. I'm like the old people right before the store opens.
I feel attacked.
Yep, knocking on the door. Hey, it's time. But I'm a big fan. This was a huge opportunity for me, man, and I can't thank you enough.
It's my pleasure. It's honestly, it's the reason why the show started, and what I'm actually passionate about doing with this show. So when I say I want to grow it, it's because I want to do. I lied. I said I was going to let you go. I'm going to keep you on here because I want to say this. So when I say, I'm always like, hey, help us grow, share the link, tell people about the show. Yes, it helps me to get the big names on here. But I think the greater value is the fact that with a big enough platform, it means more when I invite somebody who's just starting out onto the show, because more people are going to discover your channel if I have 100,000 subscribers than if I had 1,000 subscribers. And so to me, the value is it expands what I can do for my fellow content creators, trying to reach back and help you guys the way that people helped me when I was coming up. So, so thank you again. Thank you for your support, and that's why it matters to me.
Yeah, man. I was telling my family, this is like the hey, I'm gonna be on TV moment for me. So I was shouting from the rooftops to everyone.
I'm glad to hear it, man.
Yeah,
You
man.
take it easy, dude.
You too, man.
All right, later. All right, so that was my guy Shawn Burnett coming out the mean streets of Virginia. Colonial Barbell Club. Make sure that you guys are subscribed to him. I'm going to go ahead and put the banners up one more time. Make sure you subscribe to Colonial Barbell Club on YouTube. Make sure you follow Colonial_Barbell_Club on Instagram. And if you want his email address because you are a brand that's watching, I'm going to have that email address in the video description. I'm not going to just put it. I'm not going to put his email address on screen. All right. But you can also get his email address by going to his YouTube channel and clicking on that about link so that you guys can reach out to him if you want to send him product. Again, he's got a background as a welder. So he's got that lens, that expertise he can bring to it. And you guys already heard people in the chat who were saying that his videos are funny. So he's got a growing and engaged following audience that, I think you guys who are business owners should take advantage of. All right. All right. So now it is 8:05 and it is now time to say good morning to those of you in the Mountain Time Zone. If you are just joining us, it's 6 a.m. there. So I don't know if you're just getting up, getting ready to hit the gym, or if you're, getting ready to go into the office or whatever, getting your workday started. I appreciate you being here, spending the final hour of the show with us. And now I've got several topics that we can talk about that it's kind of like we're doing like a react respond type thing. Okay. For those of you who are on Instagram, I'm sorry, not Instagram. For those of you who are on LinkedIn, this is your opportunity to see what the home gym community thinks about some of the topics that you guys put out there. And I'm going to start with this first one because somebody, especially again, we're on LinkedIn. So some of you guys on LinkedIn may be connected with the hotel brand. I know that Scott, CEO of Body Solid, who we consider a friend, Body Solid supplies fitness equipment for hotels. And so I'm always, and because we travel a lot, I'm always interested in the topic of, ranking hotel gyms. And a trainer named Zach Rana, he specializes in helping traveling professionals lose body fat. And I like his channel. It's mostly, see if I can pull it up here. His channel is mostly, I guess, testimonials. It's mostly testimonials where his clients are talking about, he's interviewing his clients about their success. And I just think that's phenomenal. I think that, for one thing, I think that there's way too much more of the same content on YouTube. So he's only got 2,000 subscribers, but I think that what he's making in terms of the content is worth watching because it's something different. And as if you are a trainer, a coach, especially if you have online clients and you have a YouTube channel, I think that this is something that you might want to check out. Not that you just want to copy it, but this is another alternative in terms of content, right? So as I said, you guys can see his videos there. And I think like 23 of the videos on his channel are testimonials from his clients, how they lost weight, gained weight, if they wanted to gain weight. And if I am thinking about hiring somebody and they can show successes from their clients who have similar situations to me, it's going to make me want to, more likely to hire him. So I love that he's using his YouTube channel as sort of like a proof of concept for those who may be interested in hiring him. Now, the reason why I'm talking about him though isn't that. Instead, it's because he did a video where, and I'm going to pull up some of this right here, give him some free watch time with the sound off. But he ranked hotel gyms that he's been to in America, right? Ranking them, in his opinion, from best to worst. So this is his criteria for the hotel gym is equipment variety, equipment quality, hours of operation, size and space, cleanliness, and where it's located, how easy it is to get to in the hotel. Okay. What was surprising to me is, well, it wasn't surprising what he said was the most elite. To him, the most elite hotel was the Ritz-Carlton and some of the higher end Marriotts. They sometimes partner with Equinox. But he said he likes the Four Seasons. And I knew that the Ritz-Carlton was a high-end hotel. What I didn't know is that the Ritz-Carlton and the Four Seasons, they will have full dumbbell sets from 5 to 100 pounds in the hotel gym. Cable machines, benches, squat racks, and they have 24-hour access. And I guess, if you're paying as much money as you'd be paying to stay at the Ritz-Carlton, you should get 24-hour access. But what surprised me is where he said dumbbells from 5 to 100 pounds, because I didn't expect that. A lot of times when you see a lot of hotel gyms, I guess that's wrong, because NFL players stay in hotels, but even then they wouldn't be working on a hotel gym. But I'm just thinking, like people who have money stay in hotels. And I guess if they stayed at a Ritz-Carlton, maybe they're an actor who's getting ready for a role and they need to be able to lift heavy. I don't know. But that was just interesting to me. It's kind of surprising. But he said the worst hotels to stay in are the Hampton Inn and Suites, Holiday Inn Express, because if they have dumbbells, and I agree with that, having stayed in some of them, it's a big if they even have dumbbells, they're not going to have barbells. All right, nobody's going to have barbells. But if they have dumbbells, probably only going to go up to 40 pounds. You guys remember a few weeks ago, I stayed in a Sonesta hotel chain, one of the Sonesta hotel chains, and they didn't even have the 50-pound dumbbells. They should have, but somebody had stolen them. They did have a nice selection of cardio machines, but he said the Hampton Inn and Suites, they may only have one. I remember we stayed at a Comfort Inn when we did a live stream for powerlifting meet, and I went down to the hotel gym to get my steps in, trying to get 10,000 steps a day. Went down to the hotel gym to get my steps in, and it was just a waste of time. I ended up just walking outside because there was nothing in there. I was like, there's nothing in here that can help me. There's just enough to make me mad. They had a water fountain, and I left. I drank some water, and I went outside and got my steps in. It was depressing. And of course, you don't want to stay in a motel. If you're interested in a hotel gym, you don't need to be staying in a motel, because you're going to get your workout fighting people off. Okay. Fighting crackheads. So there's that. Anyway, so let's see here. So that's the first item. Now, this one is going to be, this is based off something that Naomi and I are going to talk about next week. And that is, there's a trend among certain hotel chains, not to hotel chain, but it's about the concept of a longevity apartment complex. So apparently there's a new wellness apartment complex that it features sleep optimizing, circadian lighting, a bunch of different things, right? Well, that made me think about, that's all well and good, and we'll talk about that next week with Naomi. But because I saw that, I started thinking about just apartments in general. And I was like, because it pulled up some of the pictures when I was looking at the article. And I said to Naomi, I was like, I wonder if they would let you set up a home gym in that apartment, because these are high-end apartments. And I said, I wonder if they let you set up a home gym in your apartment there, or even condominiums. Because when I was growing up, my grandparents lived in a condominium, and they were very, very strict. So for those of you who don't know, a condominium has an association that's almost like an HOA, right? Because you technically own your condo, right? But the other condominium owners don't want you doing stuff in your condo, in your unit, that might bring down the value of their units. So they have, when you move into the condo, you have to sign an agreement to follow the rules of the condominium association, which is, again, like I said, an HOA. So I was like, I don't know if you'll be able to do it, right? And so I don't know if Carlos is still on here, but I told him, I was like, hey, man, I'm going to need to get feedback from you if you are still on here. Now is the time. But I said, I want to get feedback because I remember during COVID, people were doing all kinds of crazy stuff in their apartments, setting up apartment gyms with, I mean, they didn't care. All right. So there was, we had a couple of them that we were looking for content, obviously. But I remember one lady set up a gym in her dining room. Let me see if I got this right here. See if I can pull this up. Pull this up here. That's Carlos. Hang on a second here. Skip that. Okay. See if I can get this. Give me 1 second. So I remember I saw this. I was like, I'm not sure this is something I'd go for, but it was COVID, so she was able to do it. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's cool. All right, so let me go ahead and share the screen now. So this is a dining room gym, right? And so she's a competitive power lifter, and she had to continue to lift. And she said basically because of COVID, she lived in an apartment, and her apartment complex or her apartment building had a gym, and she had actually put some stuff in there. But then because of COVID, they weren't allowed. Remember, we had total lockdown. So she wasn't allowed to leave the apartment. So she said, well, I have a meet potentially coming up that I've paid for. I got to keep training for it in case they let us compete. So she set up everything in her dining room. So this is what it used to look like. And then you guys see that she's got the lifting platform at the end of the dining room right here. So yeah, so there we go. So she took out half the dining room and put her lifting platform in her dining room. And obviously she got away with it because it's COVID. People are doing crazy things. I got another one. I remember I interviewed a guy who's a former rugby player who was getting into powerlifting. And he said he wanted to do and he set up his apartment. He had a studio apartment. Okay. And you guys see what this dude, let's see if we can get some of his stuff here. So yeah, he did the tour with me. All right. So now you guys can see how he set up his apartment. All right. So there we go. All right. So he had like a little corner, right? Got the little rogue rack in the corner. And this is like, we're doing all the tours on Zoom. So he's got like the little cheap little puzzle mats. This is so sketchy, right? He had extra weight because remember, everything was like, you couldn't find weights anywhere. He put in a lifting platform. You got the shaky cam because he's using his phone. He had extra, when he run out of weight, he had extra buckets filled with sand, and he weighed them so he knew like how much each bucket weighed. Let me see if we can come around here to the closet. Oh, there we go. All right. So then he came around. Yeah, there we go. Gotta wait to the ad. All right. So he had weights in his closet, and he get the weights out. Obviously, no spotter arms. Get the weights out, work out, and then put the weights back in the closet. Right. So that's all. That's all great for COVID lockdown. But what about now? And I know that most of you guys who are active in the chat, who are vocal in the chat, you guys have homes, like you own your home. But for somebody who's watching, for anybody who's watching who is in an apartment, I'm curious to know like what you had to go through to set up a gym in your apartment, especially if you know if you did some of the stuff that these other people are doing. So like now Carlos's workout space is a little bit different. So that's the most recent apartment dweller example I've got here. So this is his gym with the Mikolo Anubis functional trainer. So you guys see he's got a nice open space right there. This is actually Carlos's second apartment gym. But there are some considerations if you're going to have your gym in an apartment. Like, all right, well, some of the stuff I jotted down is like, well, first of all, you gotta check your. Well, I let that play so you guys can see it. You got to check your lease, right? Because you got to know, like, well, what's your landlord going to let you get away with? You might say that forgiveness is better than permission, but keep in mind that your landlord. Okay, so Carlos said, my complex let me do it because I wanted a downstairs unit. That's going to be that's actually one of the things on my checklist is like, how are you going to get the stuff into your apartment? So I'm not sure if Kevin lives in a house or an apartment, but he said he had to like bring the weights in through the window. He and his wife were handing weights in through the window. So I guess he's got to be like on like either the first floor or maybe second at most. Think about it with a power rack. If you live on the second or third floor, how are you getting your power rack up there? God forbid you live in an apartment building where like you got to have an elevator, like the only access is the elevator, right? Can you imagine taking a power rack up even if you use the freight elevator? I can't even imagine that. But the thing I was saying is like, let's say you decide, okay, it's my apartment, I'm paying for it, they can't tell me what to do. Well, here in Georgia, I know that the rules are similar across the United States, but landlords do have to provide reasonable notice, which is typically 24 hours for non-emergency entries, but they can come in your apartment to inspect, especially if there's, and they don't have to even give you notice if it's an emergency like a fire, there's a flood, or they think there's some sort of severe maintenance issue. So the landlord can come in and inspect your place. He's got to give you notice if it's not an emergency, but if it is an emergency, let's say there's flooding, he comes in, fixes the flooding, and then notices you've got stuff in there that you didn't know about, that he didn't know about, you can get evicted for breaking your lease. And then, of course, obviously, if you're making a ton of noise, your neighbors can get you evicted too. And then, as a little side note, Carlos, did you get renter's insurance? When I'm getting all into your business, and the reason I asked that is because I remember for a long time I didn't know this when I was renting, and then I actually interviewed an insurance agent for the channel. We were still we had just moved into our own place, and he mentioned that if you're a renter, your landlord's insurance only covers his stuff. So let's say you buy $5,000 worth of gym equipment and there's a fire. Well, the landlord's insurance is going to cover his stuff. It's not necessarily going to cover your stuff. You need to have renter's insurance, which isn't very expensive, but a lot of people who rent don't know about it, right? Carlos said, I wasn't going to move all 800 plus pounds upstairs. I wouldn't either. I would not either. Okay, yeah. He said renter's insurance is a requirement in Houston. Okay, yeah, good. So here in Georgia, it may or may not be, but I don't remember having to have it back when we were still renting. And a lot of people, if you don't have to have it, they're not going to get it because they're like, oh, why should I spend money on that? You know, my landlord's got insurance. Well, his insurance is not going to cover you, right? Now, if you live in a house and you own if you own your house, you can, you're like, I don't care about that. Everything I'm saying right now should just make you grateful for the fact that you own your own place. But there's other things too. It's that you didn't have to deal with because you got a downstairs unit. Something that people don't think about is, can the floor of your apartment support the weight of all of your equipment? And you think, oh, well, it's designed to support people. Well, have you ever been in an apartment where you hear the people walking around upstairs? You can hear them walking. All right. I guarantee none of the people upstairs weigh as much as a 1,000-pound power rack. Okay. Now you may get a group of people in there, but who together weigh 1,000 pounds, but still, it's like, can the floor of your apartment support the weight of all your equipment? And considering depending on what kind of lifting you're doing there, you may need to have a lifting platform. The lifting platform also has weight, right? So these are all things that you need to think about. So if you're watching this, whether you're watching live or on replay, and you're in an apartment, you're like, hey, I kind of want to have a home gym too. These are the things that you need to think about before you dive headfirst. Don't go shopping on the different websites and say, I'm going to buy and start buying equipment because that looks like a good idea. They're having a great time with this home gym thing. Before you do that, you need to do your research. Number one, read your lease. What does your landlord allow? Do not try to sneak something past them. Ask them. And if you're thinking about moving, if you haven't moved into an apartment yet, before you sign anything, ask them, hey, I want to have a home gym. Am I going to be allowed to do that? Something else that I've had, I've heard people do is like, well, let's say my apartment complex has a gym. I'll just put my stuff in there. Hold on. Number one, it's a condo apartment complex, they can't be responsible for your personal property. And this also applies if you own your home, but you have a homeowners association and you decide, well, we've got a fitness center, I'll just put my stuff in there. All right, well, the HOA cannot be held responsible for taking care of your gym equipment. Again, you spend $5,000, $6,000 on gym equipment, even $1,000 on gym equipment. They can't you can't hold them responsible for making sure nobody steals your stuff or damages it. And at the same time, if they do agree to let you keep your equipment in there, they might say that you're accepting responsibility for maintaining the equipment so nobody gets hurt on it. So let's say it's like some fitness centers are tied to the pool, right? Or attached to the pool. And so some family is using the pool and their kid goes inside to use the bathroom and they trip and fall over something and they say the kid got hurt on your barbell or something like that, right? That's on you. The complex is not going to accept the responsibility for that. And the final thing is, depending on where you live, if you put your personal property in a common use area, like an apartment building gym, a condominium gym, or the fitness center for a subdivision with an HOA, if you put your personal property in there, in some states, they might consider that legally transferring ownership of the property to the HOA or the apartment community. So let's say you move out. You're like, oh, I'm going to go down to, we're moving out. I'm going to go down and get my bench, my adjustable bench and my dumbbells out of the fitness center because, I'm moving to somewhere else, right? That can be considered theft because you left it in there. Let's say you lived there for 3 years, right? And then you're moving out. They might say, well, because you left it in there for 3 years, it's ours now legally. I don't want to call it abandonment, but that's sort of the general idea. So that circles back around to, it's better to keep it in your own place, but then you got to say, okay, well, does my lease allow me to have all this stuff in my does my lease allow me to have all this stuff in my place, right? Jake, hey, what's up, Jake? He said Voltra and Anchor, and I always say Anchor. It's Anchor. Voltra and Anchor to the rescue. I like that, except you have to attach them to something, right? So that means you have to have something that you can attach it to. And if you attach it to that thing and it damages said item, then does that, the likelihood of getting your security deposit back is pretty low. But if you attach your vulture or your anchor to something and there's damage on it, the landlord could say, hey, you're breaking the lease. If they even come in the apartment, I'm saying if they didn't know about it, right? They come in the apartment for whatever reason, and you forget to take your anchor down, and they see it, I'm like, what's that? Immediately, because they're looking for any reason to deny you your security deposit back, they can say, oh yeah, that damaged the wall or whatever you hung it on, whatever you attached it to, you know. Shawn said, ain't nobody taking my bars and plates. I'm telling you, man, it's like if I lived in an apartment for some reason, if I decide I'm living in an apartment, I'm going to have a home gym. And so as a result, I'm not moving into anywhere that's not going to let me specifically and explicitly state in the lease that I'm allowed to have a home gym in there. And yes, I understand that I got to respect my neighbors. I can't be making noise and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I'm just saying, there ain't no point in me even moving in there if I can't have a home gym. There's no point at all. So there's that. All right. Next news item. We're going rapid fire here. Alex Leonidas, this is kind of like something that jumped out to me because I've been focusing on increasing my bench lately for the past, technically since 1993, when my girlfriend at the time had to pull a bench off me, but a bar off my chest when I was benching. But I have been focusing on improving my bench, letting the other lifts kind of like be, I don't want to say stagnant, but kind of maintain bench, and then secondarily overhead press. So when I saw this pop up on my feed, that immediately got my attention. So Alex Leonidas, who is a content creator on YouTube, I follow, really big following. You guys have probably heard me mention him before, but he's got a video. Fit Shano said, "Don't leave your 50-pound dumbbells unattended." Dude, I'm telling you, I've heard multiple people say, let me back up. I don't even understand people who belong to a public gym and then they buy like a barbell and they store it at the gym and then they make the owner lock it up in the back so only they get to use it or whatever. I'm like, that's a whole lot of, that's a lot. I'd rather just have a home gym, man. Anyway, but yeah, I agree. Don't leave your 50-pound dumbbells unattended. All right, so Alex Leonidas says he's got a video. When you get to be about my age, there's like 6,000 of you guys watching right now. And so some of you are varying ages, but if you guys are about my age, and I'm 52, okay, for those of you who don't know, and I know there's a lot of you who don't realize I'm 52 based upon the comments you make on my videos. But yeah, I'm 52 years old. And the closer even when I got to my 40s, I heard people start saying, people who are my age, I started hearing that I don't lift heavy anymore because now that I'm 40, now that I'm 42, now that I'm 45, now I'm in my 40s, and now I'm in my 50s. Yeah, you don't need to be lifting all that heavy weight. You're going to hurt yourself. Ain't no sense in lifting all that heavy weight. Well, I think that you should continue to lift heavy because that's how you maintain your bone density. Should you lift heavier than you can handle? No, but you shouldn't do that when you're 20 years old. Okay. I think that if you lift heavy, but within like a sensible person, you can continue to lift heavy for a long time. And so when I saw the video from Alex Leonidas, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely something that I can vibe with because I think it's a like he's talking sense. So I've got the link to Alex's video in the description for this one, so you guys can check it out. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up just so you guys can see a little bit of what he was saying. See if I pull it up here. He called it the bench press solution. Okay, and he goes through. It's actually fairly comprehensive. I encourage you guys to watch it if you're interested. But I like it because he gave a bunch of different tips, ways that you can continue to lift heavy for years, right? So this is Alex Leonidas. If you've never seen him, seen what he looks like, he's not the tallest guy. I don't know exactly how tall he is, but I can tell he's not very tall. But he's very dense, very thick. I believe he competes in natural bodybuilding. And anyway, so some of the things that he talked about is, I said, number one, he says you need to stop inhibiting your natural scapular movement, the natural movement of your scapula. That was interesting to me because once I started competing in powerlifting or even training to compete in powerlifting, I always heard, you always want to bench, you pull your shoulder blades back together, you retract your scapula and bench. And he said he agrees with that, but he said that on the way up, you need to let your scapula move, right? So don't keep it retracted while you're benching, while you're so he says retract it on the way down, and on the way up, you let it move naturally. Don't keep your shoulder blades back like that, right? Which is, again, not advice that you typically hear from people. And this is like his breakdown for why. He says the clavicular head. Let me back up a little bit because I want you guys to see that. All right. Let's see if I can. All right. So he says the clavicular head flexes your humerus, the sternocostal head, which is the main portion, adducts the humerus. And as a whole, the action is to adduct, immediately rotate the humerus. So he's like, basically, by retracting your shoulders and leaving them retracted, like in a powerlifting style bench press, you're stopping your body from behaving the way it's designed to, right? So at first I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right, because retracting your shoulder blades protects your shoulder. Well, hold on. Then I thought about it some more, and I remember Paul Kelso, and I happened to be the last person to interview the late Paul Kelso before he passed away. For those of you who don't know, Paul Kelso is the developer of the Kelso shrug, which is a chest-supported shrug, heavy shrug. He also wrote Powerlifting Basics, The Adventures of Lope Delk. He was the first person to make a living as a powerlifting journalist. He was able to cover powerlifting in Japan and a lot of other things. But anyway, so Paul Kelso's pioneer, and he's one of the people I really look up to. So actually being able to interview him meant a lot. But I interviewed him for Power Magazine, Mark Bell's Power Magazine, when it was still being published. Anyway, the point is that he advocated for this style of lifting. He advocated, he's like, you retract your scapula when you're coming on the descent, and then on the way up, you let your shoulder blades move naturally, and you drive up with your whole body. So almost like the reverse of what you do if you're doing rows. And it's interesting to me that when you see people do rows, sometimes you're taught to pull your shoulder blades back and leave them like that. But the way that the older bodybuilders, if you watch Pumping Iron, you see Arnold doing seated rows, he doesn't retract. He doesn't pull the shoulder blades back and just sit like that and row. Instead, he allows his body to flex like that, right? Which is completely opposite to what I was taught when I began when I got my CSCS. But the more I learn, the more I research, the more I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You see all the Silver Age and previous bodybuilders all rode and moved like that. Like they allowed their body to move through full range of motion. And I don't think it's a coincidence that they all were able to lift heavy and stay healthy well into the 80s and 90s. Unlike lifters nowadays, they get to a certain age and they got to start cutting back on the poundages because their body starts to break down. It's something to think about, which is another reason why I like Alex Leonidas, because he's heavily influenced by the old school lifters. And I mean real old school, not like the 1980s. I'm talking about like the 40s and 50s. And keep in mind that at that time, I think steroids had been invented in the late 40s, but they weren't widespread. People didn't really even know what they were. Okay, so when you see like John Grimmick, people like that, Paul Anderson, these are natural lifters, because they wouldn't have even known how to find a steroid. Okay. One thing he says is if you're experienced with ring push-ups, you can potentially bench with a flat back. So the silver era benchers move big weights. So you got Marvin Eder, Doug Hepburn. These are 500-pound benchers, by the way. Even Reg Park. These guys were able to bench 500 pounds and they stayed healthy. And the other thing, again, this is not to judge you, but if you decide to use PEDs, you need to know that your muscles, if you use PEDs, are going to recover faster than your tendons. And that's also going to affect your ability to lift heavy as you get older, because your tendons and ligaments won't be as strong as your muscles. So you want to, if possible, avoid PED use, because that's going to inhibit, if you want to continue to be able to lift heavy for a long time. Let's just say it like that, because you want your muscles, your ligaments and tendons to develop at the same rate or as close to the same rate as possible, so you can lift heavy for a long time. He also advised using a narrower grip. I agree with that. That's one of the reasons why when I bench, my grip is tighter. So my grip is basically like this. Now, I didn't artificially bring in my grip. Instead, what I did was this trick that, man, where did I learn this? It was at a coaching clinic. But they basically said, if you want to find like your most optimal bench press position, what you do is you kneel down and you close your eyes and fall forward, open your eyes. As soon as you start to, like, you feel yourself start to tip, open your eyes and just catch yourself automatically. Like, don't think about it, just catch yourself. And then measure the distance between your hands, and whatever that hand spacing is, that's your optimal hand spacing. Just like a quick and dirty rough estimate for where your feet should be if you're going to squat is to jump in the air and see where your feet are when you land, because your body's going to naturally put you in its most structurally sound position, unless you've got some like injury or something that's going to throw that off. So George Risto said, I plan to lift till I can't, and I'm going to find a way to do it from there, because lifting is life-changing. Heck yeah. And if you're smart about it, you can lift until your dying day and be healthy and strong. Carlos said, if you want to be weak, that's your business. Let me do me. That's my response. Yeah, I'm telling you, 100%. Kenzie said, good morning. Sorry I'm late. I was a sleepyhead this morning. Hey, I'm just glad you're here. All right. Whenever you get here, we're here for it. You're here just on time. So, and if you guys, as you guys hearing me like tell you these tips or whatever, I want to get your feedback on what you think about the things I'm saying, right? So anyway, so by lifting narrower, so when I started powerlifting, I was told I needed to widen my hands out, because that shortens the distance the bar's got to travel. But honestly, it hurt my shoulders. It hurt my shoulders. And after I strained my pec benching, I said, that's the end of that. And my hands went right back into where they are, and they've been to this day, and no more shoulder issues. Now, I grant you, I do a lot of mobility work to allow myself to be strong throughout the entire range of motion, and I need to do even more. But still, that's one reason why my hand spacing is going to be where it is. Even think about it like, think about it like if you go to somebody's car won't start and you go to help them push the car, you don't put your hands way out here, right? No, your hand's going to be in here, because that's biomechanically where you're strongest. Anyway, I digress. All right. Or another way to look at it is like you have your hands the same width that you would have if you were doing pronated barbell rows. Now, the amount of weight you can lift is going to be lower, but it's better for your shoulders, and you'll be able to lift heavier longer, so you'll end up developing, basically your muscles will get stronger instead of using the leverage advantage of just having your hands out wider. Now, this one's going to hurt some of y'all. His other recommendation is don't do partial reps. So some of y'all may remember, and I'm not pulling up anybody's videos. I'm not pulling up anything. I'm just going to say, so some of you guys are fans of Eric Spoto. I don't even know if he's still competing, Eric Spoto. And he actually mentions Eric Spoto in the video, Alex does. And he advocated coming down and putting his hand, like coming down and pausing just above, like maybe about a hand's width above your chest. Okay. I tried it. I didn't see the point. I stopped doing it, right? And in fact, Jen Thompson, I saw her post on Instagram last week, I think. She said that she thinks that kind of pausing and at that point is actually dangerous. And it's funny that I saw that there, and then I watched the Alex Leonidas video, because he's like, if you're benching and you don't come all the way down to your chest, it feels safer. And I remember, story time with Grandpa, I was at the Cooper Clinic for aerobics research. And it was the classes were done for the day, and I'm working out. I'm benching, and I'm coming down, and one of the trainers saw my elbows go below my torso, and they ran behind me and put their hands underneath my elbows. So on the next rep, I came down and they stopped my elbows. They didn't tell me they were going to do that. That led to an intense and unpleasant conversation, because I had no idea they were doing that. So I came down like that. And had I not had it under control, I wasn't tight, the bar could have fallen back and hit me in the face. So we had a spirited conversation, mostly her listening and me explaining not to ever do that again, especially when I didn't ask for help. But I understood why she was saying it, because they in class, they were teaching us in that class not to bring your bar all the way down because it's unsafe. Here's the problem, and this is something that I haven't thought about since that, in years. If you avoid the ranges like that, what's going to end up happening is your body will never develop. So one day, if you always come down and you never touch, let's say something goes wrong and you go down lower than you normally do by mistake, your body's not prepared for that. So let's say your bench is something reasonable, 225, but you never go below where your arms are perpendicular to the floor or parallel to the floor, right? And one day you accidentally go down a little bit lower, your shoulders especially haven't trained to do 225 from at that point. So they're not prepared. So you actually increase your risk of getting hurt because you never go all the way, because you don't use full range of motion. Is there a place for partial reps? Yes, definitely. And I do floor presses. Okay. But I'm saying, like, I don't think that you should do half reps where you artificial stop yourself, and that's the only way that you train. Instead, it's got to be a mix, because otherwise you're setting yourself up for failure. May not like it, but that's just the truth. And then what happens when you get in the real world and you may have to lift something at a position that's further down and you never trained yourself to do? You're like, oh, I can lift that. I bench this, right? Well, you're not prepared for that from here to up to here, So the safer way to do it, and my mobility coaches even say the same thing. Shout out to Flow Motion Fitness. They're like, if you have a range where you have pain, you don't need to avoid it. Instead, you need to train it sensibly with very light weight until you fix the problem. If you avoid it, you're going to continue to get weaker and weaker and weaker. Think about it like, let's say you injure one of your legs, and so it hurts to walk on it, and you never walk on it again. That leg's never going to get better. At some point, if you go to physical therapy, they're going to make you walk on that leg, right? It's the same thing. You have to, if you have pain in an area, You need to train those ranges in a sensible way so that you can strengthen that area so you no longer have the pain, right? You fix the problem, don't avoid it. Let's check out the comment section. Carlos said it. Carlos always calls me an NPC, okay? A non-playable character. That's right, you can't play me. He said, you're pretty dang strong for an NPC. Hey, I'm not as strong as I will be. I got goals. Carp said, yeah, even in like some commercial gyms and stuff where they let you leave barbells, a lot of people lock them up so only you can have access to it. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't even understand that. I know a lot of people. I remember I was at a international meet doing a live streaming for it, and they let people buy the bars that they were using. And one of the guys bought the bar, and he said, yeah, I'm having it shipped to my house. And I was like, are you starting a home gym? He said, no. I said, well, where are you going to put the bar? He said, oh, the gym where I work out will store it for me. I have a deal with them, and they store equipment for me and store my bars. That to this day makes no sense to me. It makes zero sense to me. Like I wouldn't park my car at somebody else's house on a long-term basis. That don't even make any sense. I don't, sorry. Carb says, now I'm getting older. I can't XYZ. Maybe you can if you just try it. Well, and that's another thing too. So one of the things that I did when I was working as a fitness wellness specialist back in the early 90s is, or mid 90s, is I encouraged older people to tell, especially if they had grandkids, I said, tell your grandkids if something falls on the floor, tell them to let you pick it up. Because I understand the reason why. And as a general rule, I understand the reason why, because you're being polite. But think about it. A lot of the reasons why older people lose the ability to do things, it's because once they get to a certain age, we stop letting them do stuff. Oh, no, let me get that for you, Grandma. Let me get that for you, Grandpa. Oh, let me get that. And yeah, I mean, I still carry bags for my mom. I still tell my kids know that they still better. If they see my mom walking, carrying stuff, they should go get it for her. But I don't handicap her. I don't set her up for failure. My mother is blessed. God is blessing her and allowing her to still be healthy and vibrant. And I'm not going to do something to inhibit that process because we don't ever let her do anything. Think about something. Talk about ranges of motion. I just thought of this, right? Part of the reason why in the West we have issues with squatting with doing a full squat is because our chairs are so high. So we sit in chairs, and most people actually don't sit in the chair. They go down part of the way, and then they just drop. Especially if it's a couch, they drop like the last 4 or 5 inches. So when you ask them to squat, it's been years since they've actually used their legs to go down that far. And as a result, you lose the ability to do it. Right? So all that to say, your partial reps, just like any other thing, partial reps should be part of your training, not the only thing you do, at least if you want to stay healthy. And last thing is, hey, what's up, man? He said, working through, I think this is Anand. See, I'm still struggling with your name. You know what? Because you don't come on here enough. All right. If you were here all the time, I would be able to say your name. I know you're a busy dude, man. I appreciate you being here. He said, working through extra ranges speaks to maybe the benefit of using something like a McDonald bar for bench. You mean like a cambered bar? Yeah, I mean, I think so. Now, I wouldn't recommend somebody do that if they're not used to it and they haven't accustomed their tissues to that. I probably start out with dumbbells and turn the dumbbells slightly so I can get extra range of motion. Because if the dumbbells get to a certain size, the head of the dumbbell is going to hit your chest, and you won't be able to get full range of motion. But yeah, I think I used to be anti-cambered bar, but now I'm like, yeah, it's actually probably a good idea. Just for the same reason that a deficit deadlift is a good idea, or a Zercher from the floor is a good idea. And the last recommendation that he made was there's more, but this is the last one I'm going to talk about. He said you need a bench with a pause. Like your normal way to bench should be with a pause. Touch and go benching is easier, but benching with a pause makes you stronger in the long run. And you also don't, ironically, we're talking about being able to bench heavy for longer. You don't need as much weight if you're pausing. But if you're, especially if you're benching ballistically, but even if you're just doing touch and go, you're again not exposing your tendons and ligaments to enough time under tension to allow them to get stronger. They need more time. I would also add in that it's a good idea to do lockouts and other kinds of static holds, because that's time under tension, and it forces your ligaments and tendons to develop. So I highly recommend those. All right. Now let's move into what I learned this week. This is a good reminder, and I wrote this down so I can remind myself of it. And I think the more successful you become, the more you need this reminder. So if you're watching this and you're successful on YouTube or social media, this is for you like it's for me. What I learned this week is everybody doesn't need my good ideas about their channel. And everybody doesn't, for those of you who are watching, everybody doesn't need your good ideas about their channel. So even before we hit 100,000 subscribers, I've had people tell me about their YouTube channel ideas. And ironically, most of the people who tell me about their YouTube channel ideas are not interested in making YouTube channels in the home gym space. For example, last Saturday, I had a conversation with somebody who's starting a podcast on YouTube where he'll be interviewing pastors. He started telling me about it because he knows I have a YouTube channel. And he's quite aware that my channel doesn't have anything to do with interviewing pastors. But it's a YouTube channel. He knows I'm a believer in Christ. And so he started telling me about it. And I loved hearing about it. And then I have a few guys, not Corey. Corey knows what he's doing, but I have other people who have NFL content channels. Just like I learned from them, they ask me my opinion about their channels at times. They run ideas past me. And then, of course, I do get home gym content creators who run ideas past me from time to time. The thing that I had to learn is that most of the time, when somebody's telling you about their channel, they're not asking you for advice. They just want you to hear them out. They just want you to listen. And then let them come up with their own solutions. And that's okay. Because I am somebody who regularly, and I mean regularly, I regularly ignore advice from other well-meaning people who just want to help. So I don't get mad. I just ignore them. Every now and then I hear a gem or a nugget. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely doing that. But a lot of times, people are just regurgitating what they've heard other people say anyway. So I tend to ignore a lot of advice. So I can't take it personally when people ignore my advice, which I hate. It's something I struggle with because I hate being ignored. I hate being ignored. But I've had to, it was reiterated to me, like nobody came out and said it, but I could tell, by conversations, I've had to understand that everyone's path is their own. And even as I'm watching people do things that I'm like, oh, that's not a good idea, I got to understand, I keep my mouth shut and just listen because everybody's path is their own. It's not my job to make you successful. It's my job to clap for you when you succeed and encourage you when you stumble. That's pretty much it. One more comment I want to make sure I get. Fit Shawno. What's up, man? He said 100% pause crew checking in. Touch and go now feels like I'm cheating myself out of gains. I 100% agree. So the way that I bench is I will pause the first 2 reps and the last one. So if I'm doing a set of 3, I pause all 3. If I'm doing a single, it's paused. If I'm doing 5, then the middle 2 are touch and go. And vice versa. And I normally don't do more than 5 reps in like a lift like the bench. I'm trying to think. I'm pausing because I'm thinking if I would. Occasionally, I pause in the like a row, like pause at the full contracted position. Because if you think about it, if you do a row, especially a bent over row, think about hardly a lot of people don't pause at the contracted position of a bent over row because it's hard, and as a result, think of how much weaker our upper back tends to be than our chest. So yeah, that's a good reminder right there. I need to pause my pause in the contracted position of the row more often. It's actually pretty cool. All right, so that's it for today's show. Thank you once again to my wife Naomi for joining the show. And as always, I couldn't do it without her. Even if I could figure out a way to do it without her, I don't want to because it's not as much fun. Thanks also to my guest, Shawn Burnett, for joining us to make this show a success. I wish him continued success with Colonial Barbell. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to Colonial Barbell on YouTube. Make sure if you are a brand and you're interested in working with Shawn that you go into the YouTube description. I'll also put it in the LinkedIn description as well. So you guys can use his email address to contact him. But right now, I don't want you guys to go anywhere because we are about to go watch Naomi's Valentine surprise from RitFit. And this is, let me go ahead. I will pull it up right here. Post that right there. This is the link. I just posted the link there in the live chat. If you're watching on replay, you guys can go to the video description and you will be able to see the link to watch Naomi's surprise from RitFit. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream now. I hope you guys will join me over there as we check it out. All right. Next week we got another great show. You guys keep sharing the link. Keep stacking days. Peace out.